the people never happy. It's never enough.
I cannot believe you,
Are you saying that advance have cured death?
Jog off!
We're still vassals, slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
Oh, Megan. We're only getting started.
Good evening.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Not For Broadcast. Hey, Crusader, what's going on, bud? So, last time we were here, what happened? The new government advance had taken over. They had been elected democratically. However, during their term, they implemented a new thing for the elderly called transition centers. And these centers were advertised as a way of helping get rid of the elderly. So, essentially, if you had a grandmother who was living with you and she was, you know, old and had all these problems, yeah, you could send her to a transition center and have her bye-bye. Yo, Dark, what's up? We were also electrocuted and ended up having a weird dream about evil teddy bears attacking everyone. So now we're waking up from this hospital. Asher, Dark, welcome back. So yes, so now we are in the beginning of essentially a government taking over. But we just woken up from an accident. We're in the hospital. Day 154, a rude awakening. The rhythmic beeping of the heart monitor brings you slowly back to consciousness. Opening your eyes, you're greeted by a semicircle of concerned faces. Your family by your side, a reassuringly familiar sight in these new surroundings. You blink a few times to clear the sleep from your eyes and bring everyone into focus. You feel a hand on yours, gentle but reassuring. Sam, there with you as always. Their expression, understandably concerned, is somehow more affectionate than ever. We knew you'd be okay, never doubted it for a second, and if I ever see that Bozeman, squeeze their hand and attempt to wink. The worry lines on Sam's forehead fade a bit. Lord knows you've both got enough to be anxious about without your health being thrown into the mix. The final smile at them, you turn to the rest of your family. Susie's standing next to Sam, less worried now that you're awake and smiling. You can see Sam's worry on your daughter's face, but she smiles when she notices you looking at her. Her eyes brim with tears as she asks, "Are you okay?" And for a moment, Susie's not 19. She's your 6-year-old daughter again, and she's scared. You feel a flash of pain behind your eyes. You put on a brave face, of course, Susie can't help but smile back at you, rolling her eyes good-naturedly. It's great to have her here. Charlie catches your eye as he fidgets with the edge of the blanket. You cock your head and look at him, one eyebrow raised questioningly. As you turn to look at him, you can see Charlie tense up, his concern clear on his face. "So, you're definitely good, right?" he asks, quickly looking away. "Of course I am, buddy. There's nothing to worry about." Dark, do I like eggs? Depends on how they're made. Depends on how they're made. And Crusader, absolutely. Screw the ATF. Trying to take our guns away, god damn it. Charlie looks at you and grins. One of the most infectious smiles that spreads around the room. It's always good to have him in your corner. Your smiles fade as you notice your mother staring listlessly out the window. Despite all your best efforts, she's not been doing well lately. You okay, Mom? Your mother starts. Your call clearly shocking her out of her reverie. She turns to you and smiles, and you're grateful to see the increasingly rare recognition in her eyes. "Yes, dear, of course. How are you feeling?" You smile warmly and nod, but before you can respond, a doctor bustles in and ushers everyone out. She asks you for what feels like the 100th time, "How are you feeling?" Surprising well, all things considered. "Excellent. There's no sign of any real damage, just a bit of shock to the old system. Pardon the pun," she smiles. "Not that we'd recommend you do anything like that again, of course. After a couple of days of rest at home, you should feel right as rain." To be clear as to what happened to us, we were working on our equipment as usual, but during a bad weather storm, we were messing with machinery that was sparking. And essentially, we had a bad electrical shock that now put us in the hospital. And that's what caused the weird teddy bear dream. She turns to leave, but stops at the door. Oh, and the private room and care? The doctor gestures to your room, which you now notice looks rather expensive. Has all been paid for by Mr. Bozeman. He left those flowers and said not to worry and to take the rest of the week off. He'll see you Monday, apparently. Huh, seems like the least he could do. Wow, so our boss actually paid for all that. Thank you, Asher. I really do appreciate that, bud. I'm always open to suggestions if you have any ideas. So please feel free either on Discord or on YouTube. I'm always open to ideas, dude. So thank you for the support, man. Dark vanilla milkshake sounds awesome, but personally, I like mint chocolate chip. Give me 1 second, I need water. Alright, gentlemen. Day 180. A burden to bear. You come home from a particularly late shift to find the kitchen light still on, which isn't normally a good sign. Everyone's usually in bed by now. Softly opening the kitchen door, you find Sam sat at the kitchen table. Bills and papers are strewn in front of them, as well as what looks to be their second pack of biscuits. They give you a quick kiss as you take a seat next to them. Sam frowns and goes back to the bill they're holding. Hey, sweetheart, just looking at the numbers again. They look to the door, the pantry, now converted into your mother's bedroom. We've been doing our best, but I think Cassandra really needs a nurse to look after her now. Suddenly, the bills are all you can see. I've been staring at the numbers all night. Tears in their eyes, Sam takes your hand. There's just no way we can afford it. I'm sorry. The kitchen table swims before you. Sam stands up and pulls you into a firm embrace, but all you can think of is your mother, and how you can't afford to help her. What would your dad be thinking now? Is this the utopia Advance promised? You stare at the door to your mother's makeshift room. Tomorrow, you'll need to tell the kids, and then book an appointment at the transition center. What else could you have done? So yeah, to be clear, the transition center is where you go to kill your elderly relatives. The other thing that Advance, the government, has done is they took all the money, well, a lot of the money from the rich people and used that to fund all of their things. To be clear, the reason why idealistic things like that, why the idea of just, hey, we're going to forcibly take the rich's money and give it to everyone else, that doesn't work long term, because what happens is everyone makes money, so now when everybody has money comfortably, they have kids. And now all these people have kids, they suddenly can't afford to take care of these kids anymore because now they have less money than they started with, and that throws off the economy and everything goes to shit. That's why the Soviet Union went the way it did. So we're gonna see something like, and not to the same extent, but we're gonna get there. Oh wait. Oh, can I not? Oh, I'm dumb, that's why.
Facial sabotage?
Jenny, problem? I want her fired today, now.
Don't worry, Kath, it'll be all right.
No, it won't be all right, Kath. Pack up your weapons of optical destruction and get out.
You realise you're beginning to sound like me?
I mean it, Kath.
Oh, that's
Stay where you
shot.
are,
Okay.
Kath. Jenny?
This is not Jenny's decision, Jeremy, or yours.
It'll be all right. I'll talk to Bozeman.
Oh, good.
Moobs? The hell is a
You can tell him
moob?
I'll return his wife's casserole dish at our dinner next week. Jenny?
Crusader, could you really? I mean, yes, I have ice in my water bottle. I froze it. I kind of froze my water bottle. It helps last longer in the
Letting
stream.
it go to your head.
She nearly blinded me.
10 seconds,
I thought we were all
everybody.
part of a team these days.
Things are better, Jeremy, you know that. Just stop being so
Sorry, in
high and mighty
5,
and do your job.
4,
You'll have me fired too.
3.
Don't tempt me. Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy Dawson. Our main headlines tonight.
The establishment strikes
So
back.
remember, for those of you that
The
are new
World
to this
Council
game,
has agreed
we
today to
control the
impose
narrative.
punitive
They will
sanctions
give us
on
options,
people of
and
this country.
The sanctions, which are broad-ranging, include restrictions on the supply of oil and gas, food, clothing, and even some medicines. But how
so they
should
give
we
us
react?
very little
We ask
indication
the
of what
public.
these are going to do, and they just tell us
What are
whether
your
it's good or bad.
reaction to the sanctions?
So I just chose a bad name.
I think it's fucking outrageous. My mom needs insulin. Am I supposed to get her transitioned? What's the government doing about it, eh?
Thanks, Patrick. Important stuff.
Controversial Prime Minister Julia Salisbury attempted to assuage growing public concerns with the following official statement released earlier today.
The international sanctions declared against this country today by the World Council remind us that now, more than ever, we need to come together as a team. Since coming to power, we have eradicated poverty and, as a consequence, seen crime fall to levels previously thought impossible. Our schools, hospitals and youth clubs are thriving, and our transition centres have enabled many thousands to unburden their loved ones with dignity. In any sane world, we would be held up as a model.
To be clear, when she says
emulate.
unburden, that she means many people have killed their
Evidently,
grandparents
this is
already.
not that world. The privileged few have lobbied, and now they are striking back. But we will not cower before their tantrums. And we encourage other progressive nations of the world to continue to trade, visit, and share their cultures with ours. Do not be afraid. We have more friends than we can count. We are a team.
I haven't played that one yet,
More than
Asher. That's
ever.
new to me.
And this team is on your side.
Oh, it's on
Thank
mobile as well. All right. I'd imagine it's on crossplay, so that would definitely have more
Reassuring
people.
stuff. But what do you, the public, think of our refreshingly different government? Robin Short found out.
I was wondering if you could tell me what you think of the government.
What? That shower of iridescent pricks? Punishing success and rewarding laziness? They're taking this country down the bloody Swanee. And it's not just me that thinks so. My wife Iris, she agrees.
A whole lot of problems. Protests were held today at the controversial construction site for Remington Smith's physics-defying MOOBS project.
Oh, that's what that
Since
is. It's
digging
her doing
straight
this
through
again.
the earth
Okay.
began 6 months ago. The project has been beset by problems, including localized tremors and the heat deaths of many of the workforce.
Residents of the nearby town of Calamity today converged on the construction site with sincere, if misspelled, placards, demanding a suspension of digging until safety checks can be carried out.
Of course, that's half a world away. But what does this country think? Patrick.
What's your opinion of the MOOBS project?
It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What's to stop it, right? Dropping out the other end and just falling forever.
Gravity?
No, it don't exist.
Gravity don't exist.
Pipers at the gates of
But yeah,
dawn.
so the idea of what
Commuters in the
moves
capital
is,
this
they
morning
want
found
to drill
themselves
from one part of the earth
surprised
down
and
to the other. Like
amused
literally drill
by the
straight
latest
through the
stunt
earth.
from Popular Pressure Group.
And essentially build like an interplanetary
Silent
highway.
protests were held outside underground stations throughout the capital, bringing a pleasantly surreal quality to the morning commute.
Unless, like me, you have a phobia of mimes.
But how do we, as a country, really feel about Disrupt? Robin?
How do you feel about Disrupt?
Ah, well, now you're talking. Ruddy hero, showing us not to take it lying down like Iris here.
So you both feel they're a cause worth supporting?
Well, Iris doesn't speak her mind, but we're pretty sure there's still one in there, aren't we, love?
Oh, Jesus.
Wherever it is, it loves Disrupt, fighting the oiks for our freedom. And what could possibly be wrong with that?
Do you need me to get you some help?
Feast or famine. Resourceful doctors David Wong and Ingrid Svorsborg and Horgensford today announced their first successful
Yeah, I
harvest
feel bad
of
for whoever
Dante's
names their
taint.
kid that.
Although they can currently only grow a few fungal strains, the scientists seem to be staying positive as the following
All right,
pictures
sounds like a
show.
plan, Asher. Maybe we'll do
The
that next,
undauntable
what do you call it?
scientists chose to try and survive in
community
the
night.
cave system while the complex rescue operation inches forward up here on dry land.
Let's hope they like Stroganoff.
But with Advance planning to spend an eye-watering amount of public money on the rescue craft, we asked Patrick Bannon to find out what we should all be thinking about the accelerating costs.
What are your thoughts on the costs of the rescue?
Oh my God, Patrick Bannon, wash your mouth out with soap. You can't put a value on human life. You have to spend whatever it takes because one day you might be trapped in an underwater cave system and you would want exactly the same.
I don't think so, actually, because for legal reasons, we're actually not allowed within 31 yards of the coastline. So.
What the hell did you do that you're not allowed 31 miles of coast?
I am not a number.
What the fuck could you do? What?
Applications finally opened today for the
What
new
do you do?
Advance
Have
Team
interactions,
membership
sexual
card,
interactions with a
scheme by
dolphin?
the government to allow fast access to all the new public services being introduced daily.
The team membership cards are entirely voluntary, but will be recognised as legal identification by all major organisations, including the police, banks, and, vitally,
So they're not ID cards, but they're being
And of
recognized as
course,
ID cards.
there's no charge, Jeremy.
It all seems too good to be true.
Well, you've always been a cynic. But most importantly, what should you, the public, think about the new team membership cards?
Team membership cards?
Absolutely bloody not. It's the thin end of the wedge, isn't it, Iris? First it's, can I see your identification, sir? And then it's, would you mind bending over the table, sir? So Sergeant State Educated and Constable Regional Accent here can stick their truncheon up your derriere.
Oh, crikey!
They should call them what they are. They're bloody ID cards. Oh, for Christ's sake, what is it, Iris?
Oh, I'm really not happy, Algernon! I'm so sorry.
Damn!
Crikey.
Someone's about to get a divorce.
And finally tonight, getting stuck in a shameless attempt to cash in on
Crusader,
his
who's a
bad
government
boy
officer?
status, Shame celebrity Johnny Hamsleeves announced a new line of real ale at a press conference earlier today.
The new brew,
I just love
entitled
abusing this guy.
Headbutt Ale, in reference to his controversies of last year, promises a night you'll pretend
Is it bad?
you
Like,
regret.
yes, but
Or
it's still
possibly a
kind
night
of
you'll
funny because
pretend
you
you
can just
remember.
sink someone's career.
So what should we all think of Johnny's
It's
latest
terrible, though. I'm a
attempt to
horrible
market
person, I
his
know.
notoriety? Patrick?
Disgusting.
Your thoughts there?
Later tonight, in a break from our usual responsibilities, Jeremy will be taking popular rapper Jesus to task over his street credibility. And then we'll
Oh,
both
yeah, I
be
think
meeting
Jesus
a
is
tiny
basically
loophole
like,
that's got theatre critics buzzing with
what's his name? Like R.
anticipation.
Kelly.
That's
No,
all
not R.
coming
Kelly.
up on
No,
tonight.
not R. Kelly. What's his name?
National
Nightly News.
Kanye West. Basically like Kanye West, but just not a little bit. Yeah, I mean, in this world, he's political. Yeah, I guess like Kanye West, maybe. He's a musician. I just don't know if I would say he's on the same point. Then again, he does start kissing the government's ass, so maybe not. God damn it. Got it.
First tonight, let's return.
He said
to our
31 yards,
main story.
okay. Oh, shite.
Off advances popularity.
And the honeymoon period pretty much over.
The National Nightly News has spared no expense in bringing you the response to today's sanctions from across the continent.
Joining us to help digest this shocking development, our Prime Minister Peter Clement from his home in Lancashire.
Good evening, Jeremy.
And from Urkistan, Foreign Minister Ivan Vodovich.
It's a great pleasure. Miss Wolf, you're like...
And from Svenland, Minister of Mojo, Björk.
Hey, everybody.
Minister Vodovich, your country pushed especially hard for these sanctions. Any regrets?
My only regret is I was not able to see the face of my old friend Peter Clements when the results of the vote were announced. As you say, he has one up in your bottoms.
In Svenland, we try not to gloat, actually, because it's seen as really ugly and dangerous to some small creatures, yeah?
Oh, don't worry, Minister. Ivan and I go way back. He's a wind-up merchant who can't put for shite.
Pete,
He's just trying to get a rise out of me.
You're like a man who load dissidents on...
Hey, this guy's
his
got a thing for
labor
small
camp,
penises.
Not because of love of country,
see what I mean in a minute.
but to make up for the size of his tiny penis.
There you go.
In on the vodka, Ivan.
No more than you. I see you on election night with mouth like man thinks he's singing beautiful lullaby. But actually he's squealing like a pig in hands of Randy Big Dick Farmer, eh?
Actually, we Svenlandians, we aren't size obsessed. We value passion, yeah? Like the way we spoke up for Mr. Clement's country at the World Council.
That's all well and good. And high and mighty, but where were you for the actual vote, then? Not fingering each other's fjords?
Actually, that's kind of racist. And if you must know, I've had like a really tiring afternoon and my tongue is very sore.
Prime Minister, with advances popularity on the wane...
You don't have to bring that up at every given opportunity, you know.
Peter is like man who think he's sniffing flowers in beautiful glade. But he's actually standing under outflow pipe from shit factory at shit flushing time on day of village festival of shit. I tell him this at 19th hole.
Minister Vodovich believes that left to their own devices...
Yeah, we might do that, Asher, on like Friday or Saturday. Probably not Friday because of
Natural
Resident Evil,
beasts.
but
However,
likely, maybe Saturday, I'm
this
not sure.
country, we think our citizens are capable of being more than beasts.
Pathetic idealism.
Minister Björk, Svenland has long had radically different traditions and culture from the rest of the world, and yet it peacefully coexists. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know, I think maybe the world sees us as something they can actually spiritually be enlightened to, yeah?
Yeah, or maybe it's the orgy houses.
Sometimes, when foreign dignitaries come to visit us, they're actually quite skeptical, actually. So we take them on
it
a
sounds like
visit to the
politicians.
Dunga,
remind everybody
show them
the,
what like a progressive and
what's his
enlightened
name?
society looks like.
Epstein
yeah?
Island?
Shit of bull. Svenland is like woman who thinks she make best cake in village hot baking contest. And then when she slices it open, it's just full of piss and cum.
That's just really gross, actually.
Svenland is a teeny tiny country. With population smaller than number of people, Peter Clements is sex with his teeny tiny penis.
It's not all about size, actually.
Yes, that's what Peter Clements always claimed.
I'm talking about population size.
And I'm talking about Peter Clement's teeny tiny...
Oh, fuck off, Ivan!
Oh, Prime Minister, please.
It's so easy to sit on your pile of money and gloat, isn't it, pal? You're a shite leader, a fucking god-awful golfer, and quite
Imagine
frankly,
politicians
as the
actually
old
talk
man
like
used
this
to
on the air.
say, you're a bit of a cunt.
Prime Minister, please.
It's you who is cunt.
Minister Vodovich, please.
Your people are fucking starving, pal.
We will see how well fed your people are when the sanctions start to bite. You think your man like big, scary wolf person terrorizing village, when actually a pathetic goose person searching puddle for tiny dropped-off penis.
Why are you so obsessed about small cocks, mate?
In Finland, we believe like the size of your penis isn't as important as the love it contains, yeah?
Oh, fuck off, yeah.
Okay, if everybody could just calm down.
You're so smug on golf course.
You know what's funny? This didn't go the last time I played this.
Pig, and somehow it give her.
It didn't go like this last time. They were actually a lot more friendlier to each other.
But now you start to see, yes? The people never happy. It's never enough.
It's certainly true that Advance's popularity
It's
is...
on the fucking wane. Yeah, let's go with this bollocks again, shall we? Actually, you know what? Nah, fuck this. I'm done with this.
Prime Minister, please don't storm out.
No. I have had enough of you, Mr. Jeremy Donaldson, and your Snyder side.
Damn.
You think you could make a better job of things, do ya? Because it's not that fucking easy, let me tell ya. Your channel is a fucking disgrace. You insinuate and edit against us and pick your headlines so people don't trust us. The sooner you roaring monsters are taken into public ownership, the happier everyone in this country will be.
Well, we've not got long until the adverts, so...
Look, I'm sorry.
God damn, dude.
Julia thinks very highly of you, and I know you're not the one making the editorial decisions.
Oh, he's talking
do
shit to
any
me
of you
now.
Have anything you wish to add about the sanctions?
My work here is done. I like man who happy he lie down with fatty, drunk, easy girl from village inn, who discover in morning he wake up next to beautiful news reporter lady.
You know, I think it would be a terrible shame, yeah, if the people of your country were to suffer because of teenage grudges and personal rivalries, yeah.
Thank you. Prime Minister?
This country, this wonderful, civilized, creative, inventive country, we're not scared of these sanctions. There's no wolves at our door, only the best of people striving to help out. So no, Ivan, we're not afraid. In fact, I doubt we'll lose a wink of sleep because we're strong and we're well resourced and we don't back down to bullies.
And on that note, we have to wrap up.
Ministers, Prime Minister, thank you for joining us.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back.
God damn. Chat, your comments?
So easy. So many buttons to push.
Piss off, Ivan.
Well, I see you at Grange this weekend.
No, I've got meetings. Some tossers impose sanctions on the country.
Well, shit.
I mean, wow.
So that happened.
Roaring monsters.
Public ownership?
You two are like a couple who think you are king and queen of village when actually you are just puppets on a string of evil city-hand puppet legs.
Censorship should show up in blue.
Oh, so the government wants me to censor things. Chad, are we censoring things for the government? I think not. I don't think so. But see, that's why I'm not gonna get there because I think YouTube won't like
still
it.
meant to bow foreign royalty.
What?
Should I just like curtsy?
Hang on. Have they given you the Crown Prince report?
What?
Meghan?
This is Jeremy, and he'll be interviewing you.
Yo, thanks for having me on your show, man.
It's quite all right.
Yo, just a quick one. You're not going to ask me about the chimp, are you?
Live in 10 seconds.
Because he put that get up on himself.
Did you just say something about a chimp?
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. I'm Megan Wolf. Later, we have an exclusive first look at a theatrical sensation everyone's going to be talking about. But first, it's time to go over to the culture spot with lovely old Jeremy Donaldson, who's joined by a very special guest. Jeremy.
Thanks, Megan. I have the honour and privilege of being joined by hip-hop royalty. He's been called the son of the streets and the father of truth. Not sure how that works, but whatever. Let's welcome Jesus.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a real honour to be here on your show, The News. You know, as a kid on the streets, I used to watch you through a window of the shop, so to be here right now is crazy.
You've had quite the journey to be here today. Can you tell us about it?
Well, you know, I try not to, well, you know, the past is the past, and I don't like to dwell on it.
I understand. You
But yeah, man, the streets is all I remember. Like, my mother donated me to a charity shop soon after I was born. Elderly lady took pity on me. You know, she let me sleep on a pile of crime fiction until I taught myself how to walk.
Wow, that's quite the childhood.
And she died tragically. Right there in my arms, man. You know, I remember a tear falling as she laid there next to the used homeware. And in that moment, I became a child of the streets. I was just 18 months
Would you
old.
be an adult? Oh.
What a tale. What
18 months old, all right.
You're known for your direct and honest lyrics. Was your style informed by your troubled past?
Oh, like I said, I try not to talk about it. It's just too hard.
Of course.
But my first album is about the story of the first 4 times I stole, so I wouldn't starve. A small group of infants came to see me as their de facto leader. They call me Mr. Cheese Slice. Anyway, we were like a family.
So it would seem. Recently, you've been quite outspoken about the government.
Yeah, fuck the government. Fuck Advance. Fuck Peter Clement.
What is it that you object to so vehemently?
Well, you know, they stole from us. They're taking our money and spending it, man.
Redistributing it. Actually, homelessness has been all but eliminated in the last couple of months.
So?
Surely that's a cause close to your heart?
Yeah. Nah, of course, man.
Yeah, he just caught on. He's like, oh, shit. Kind of threw
why
myself
do
under
I
the
have
bus.
to pay for it, you know?
You don't. People have been rehoused on property seized from the historically wealthy. And that couldn't have been you, could it?
Look, yeah. I worked hard to be here. I built this from nothing, and I deserve to be rewarded for that.
Would you say you worked harder than, say, a farmer or a care worker?
I don't know. But if people are taking something from my music, choose to value it, buy it, who's to say I don't? And no one can take that away from me.
Not even to help, say, vulnerable children? Mr. Cheese Slice.
What is it you're trying to say?
I just don't understand where you've placed yourself politically. I mean, is it ideological or is it tactical?
Well, it's more of a
Or maybe it's hereditary.
Stop trying to tie me in knots with your words, Jeremy. I let the music speak for itself. And the people agree with me.
Well, that remains to be seen. But you have given me a very easy segue out of a conversation that I promise you was much more painful for me than it was for you. So here he is with his hit song, Mrs. Ludlow's Tears.
Oh, no. I'm going to do something a little different. It's a new single I've been working on.
Oh, so this is unapproved, is it?
Yeah. You love it.
Excellent. Don't worry, we've got a state-of-the-art censorship system. What's the worst that could happen? So here he is with a new song. Aren't we lucky? It's Jesus!
First.
If I remember correctly, the song's actually not that bad. Like, the last time what we saw was absolute cringe. This one's actually not bad.
Well, we're all different races from many different places. At any given moment, only one could be the greatest. So you can feel the elation from your participation. Still 2 leaders in this motherfucking nation. Now we're getting sanctioned, talking about expansion. Why does Julius require a massive fucking mansion?
So if you look at the censorship thing, the blue is government, the red is swearing.
To achieve my fucking dreams.
So you can see the things the government wants me to censor versus the things that the company wants me to censor.
So don't make a fuss when you find you're one of us. Yeah, every single one of you's a bit Jesus. And you can call me crazy, cause no one ever pays me. But I won't waste a lifetime being motherfucking lazy. I may be inventive, my taste may be expensive, but why would I get out of bed with no fucking incentive? Although it's contravention of your obvious intention, I like to eat a little of the fruits in my invention. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. The best of the praise of the crest of the wave, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. It's time to start.
I missed a little bit of the red. So I'm monitoring jumping back and forth between 2 and 3, and monitoring the sensor.
The burden of their motherfucking loved ones who had plenty like a motherfucking Bentley, the ones who now finding that their bank accounts are empty, the ones of aspiration who had to flee a nation, the ones who built a business out of dreams of perspiration. There's all sorts of people, the good and the evil. It only takes a glance to see we're not all equal. You make us the same, but we're not all the same. All our dreams, all our schemes, all our means are not the same. And the best of the praise of the crest of the waves, cause we're only equal people when we're motherfucking slaves. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit, he's got a job he's unfit for. Time to stall the castle with a motherfucking pitchfork. Get out of your seats, get your asses in the streets, set a fire in the building, let him feel some fucking heat. Say you hate to go getters, you're squilling letters and burn them on the powers of advanced fucking letters. Gonna take his facts, gonna stain it red, gonna slam it into Peter Clemens' motherfucking head, cause he's thick as shit.
I don't know if YouTube appreciates the swearing. Not sure about that. Then again, I did this last time, so I'm sure they'll I'm probably gonna get nailed for this later.
Let your hearts and your minds and your fists to destruct.
Jesus there with his new song. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. I'm sorry. I may not agree with you, but I'd just like to offer you an apology. I've just been told that there was some kind of issue upstairs, and an attempt was made to censor some of your lyrics.
What? Are you joking?
I'd just like to say to you and everyone at home that this was a mistake.
This is absolutely ridiculous. I cannot believe this.
Here at the National Nightly News, we pride ourselves on remaining neutral, unbiased, and independent
I don't
of
think he
any
should be
outside
speaking. I mean,
interference. You have my word. We will never censor.
He's not the one in
ideas.
charge, though, so him making the statement
to you,
is
Megan.
going to put him in the line of fire.
Well, a bit of dangerous language there, sorry about that. Well, thank you to little Jeremy Donaldson for providing our culture spot. Coming up, we'll be speaking to a couple of familiar faces about their upcoming dramatic outing. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
I think this is cringe.
That's the ad.
Just a reminder, fixing that old VCR.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's ridiculous. Who's up
Past that break.
This is just a mix-up, I'm sure. Now, if you come with me, I really do have to ask
Oh,
you to
trust me.
leave it.
My father's going to hear about this.
I understand. This is unbelievable, Megan.
I don't know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Blood, who we still got in chat tonight? Actually, they're pretty good on that. I got a B. But who we still got in? Glad to have you, Asher.
Oh, here we go.
Very good, my friend. Very good.
Look at him.
If we could just get you in position.
Oh, say no more. Say no more.
Yeah. Hearing that guy's voice, I'm like, oh no. Yeah, this is gonna be pure cringe.
And Mr. Harris, and this is Ms. Radin.
What?
Philippa, please.
We're back together again, eh? Who'd have thought it?
Perhaps a lower order demon.
Yes, it is awfully exciting, isn't it?
Right, okay then. We're going live in 10 seconds, opening on camera 1.
Try. Cheers.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And no, you're not mistaken. Sitting across from us are some very familiar faces.
You really are too kind, Megan. It was only a yogurt commercial, but I'm still proud of it.
Here to talk about his new show, we're joined by National Treasure Tommy Harris, the National Theatre's Philippa Raven, and National Deficit Jeff Algebra.
It's so lovely to have you all. Tommy, would you like to tell us about the show?
You know what? I'd bloody love to. It's about me. It's about my life.
And where did the idea come from?
So, right, picture this. Their legs akimbo, mid-session, sweat is pouring out of me like an immense hog. And then Cindy comes in, she says, Pete's on the phone.
That's Peter Clement, the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Pete's actually a really good mate of mine.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, no, he comes to training sometimes. He's actually a pretty good goal sweeper. Anyway, so, yeah, Pete, he says, Toby, he thinks my name's Toby, see? He says, how would you like to spread your message of team spirit and cooperation across this fractured nation? How would you like to really make a difference in these desperate times?
What did you say?
Yeah, right, yeah.
So, Jeff, the question on everyone's lips is, what in God's name are you doing here?
Well, after the success of my debut work and all the people that I've touched, I knew that I had a career in theatre. Yeah? I've always been an admirer of Tommy from afar. So when my manager phoned and said that I'd been offered the gig as director, I was ecstatic. I whipped my trousers off and got straight to work.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, why take your pants
I
off?
do all my best work with my trousers off.
Yeah, I've been told that too.
No, I wouldn't say so.
Right, Tommy, sorry, would you just give us a sense of what the show is actually about?
It's about how hard it's been for me and some of the struggles that I've faced. It's like really getting to the heart of how tough it is to be me. I call it Tommy Harris, Jesus, that was hard.
It's catchy. We actually have some clips of the process
can we
of
not?
the show. Would you mind telling us what's going on here?
Yeah, so the show is built around two things that are very important to me. It mixes scenes from my life as well as epic fantasy retellings of scenes from my life.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
I'm sorry, son, but you're an embarrassment.
But Dad, you promised you'd come to my graduation.
Back, demon! Back to the hells!
Wow. Philippa, what's it been like co-starring with Tommy Harris?
I've always dreamed of treading the boards at medium-scale regional theatres, Megan.
I mean, I give them
once,
credit
this
for their
show
acting, but still,
really
it's
gives me
just
something
cringe.
to sink my teeth into.
What's different about this show then?
Tommy, Mr. Harris's show really lets me show my tremendous range as an actor. I've always suffered from typecasting, forced to play the same tired characters in every god-awful yogurt advert or godforsaken soap opera or, God forbid, a pantomime. But, you know, this show has really let me just go there.
Jeff, the viewers at home will be dying to know exactly what is it that you bring to the show?
Oh, good question. I think these guys would agree with me when I say that it's my steady hand on the tiller, my arm round the shoulder approach that's really brought the production from strength to strength.
Absolutely right. Jeff's contributions are immeasurable. He was our rock.
Oh yeah, him. And he said he does his best work with those pants.
Yeah, all sorts. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got lots of exclusive first-hand experiences of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
And some epic fantasy retellings of Tommy's time in the underground sports board scene.
You'll never take the sacred pass!
And am I right in saying this was officially commissioned by the government?
Yeah, all paid for by the taxpayer, which, you know, to be honest, was actually a lifesaver, really.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that without Advance's support, we'd have had to cut the finale.
Which, frankly, would have been a travesty.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ!
Goodness, and you do this every night?
Absolutely. It's a metaphor.
For what?
Death.
and the public are footing the bill, are they?
Imagine if your
Right
tax
they
dollars
are.
funded
Between
this.
The cost
Oh
of my
God.
tour bus and the dry cleaning of my ties, I'm barely scraping a profit here.
Amazing. And where can the folks at home come and see this for themselves?
We're performing all over the nation.
And people can see it for absolutely free, all courtesy of Advance. Isn't that incredible, Jeremy?
Yes, it's unbelievable, Megan.
Well, thank you all so much for coming. Next time we see you, no doubt you'll have taken our jobs.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for tonight. Join us tomorrow when I'll be interviewing the world's most attractive horse. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe. And from all of us here, have a peaceful night.
That's the ads. Let's get reset for tomorrow, please.
Hey, we must stop bumping into each other like this, eh?
Jeremy fucking hates this guy.
Oh.
Okay, I did pretty good on that. Well, technically not negative. It's nice. Alright, so our actions have made the world hate Advance. They love Disrupt, and Channel 1's not too happy with us. Okay. Day 242. The ladder worth climbing. It's a lazy Sunday afternoon in summer, with you and Sam making the most of both kids being out of the house. You headed into the pantry, taking a moment to remember when it used to be your mother's room, before coming out with the last 2 slices of homemade cake. It's rare for you and Sam to actually get to finish something sweet in this house, and you savor every mouthful. Just as you take your last bite, you hear the sound of the front door slamming. That'll be Charlie from the Go-Getters. You can hear him practically running to come find you, and he's grinning from ear to ear when he's finally done. I have some really big news! You and Sam play along, sitting attentively with bated breath. Ready? Oh, ready? Charlie asks as you both nod enthusiastically. With a flourish, he reveals a new badge from his pocket, and proudly presents it to you to you both to examine, so as he announces. Sorry guys, I can't read today. As of today, I'm a member of the first tier of the Cohesion Cadets. There's way more stuff I'm gonna be doing, and I'll be working some weekends, but it's really cool. Let's see. I guess we'll support him. You and Sam grin back at your son. You're thrilled that he's happy and doing well. I'm so sure it's not a brainwashing youth group. Day 257, grown-up child. You've always had dinner as a family for the important events, and tonight is no exception. Charlie, ostensibly, I said that horribly, resents not being able to go to his friend's house this evening. But you can tell he's happy to be with you, really. It'll be the last time you're all going to be together for a while. So far, you've even managed to avoid fighting with Susie over politics, something Sam is no doubt grateful for. With her exams and your work, you've not seen much of Susie lately. Of course, it's not the same without your mom here, but it's nice having everyone together nonetheless. So, Alex, I believe you had a few words? Sam pointedly asks, nodding towards Susie. Your daughter cocks an eyebrow with a quizzical expression, and you can't help but see a little of yourself in it. Ah, yes, of course. What's this about? Susie asks, laughing as she takes a drink of her champagne-adjacent sparkling water. Sparkling wine, oh my god, what's wrong with you tonight? I made a point this afternoon that it was a big day and that you should all be celebrating her achievement. So, our little Susie. Come on, honey, we're waiting, Sam offers. Sam says softly. You're not going to go off about the government again, are you? You're like a broken record, Susie smiles at you, a twinkle in her eye. I just want to say we're proud we'll get into med school. Yeah, let's support her. We're happy that she's getting into med school. Oh? Susie's mischievous smile becomes a grin as she gets up around the table and gives you a big hug. I'm gonna miss you. You can see Sam start to tear up as they stand and join the embrace. Miss us? Are you going somewhere? Good question. Susie laughs, breaking the hug. No, you're not getting rid of me yet, but I'll probably have to leave when I get my first posting. Oh, hush now, let's not talk about that. Sam cuts her off, smiling. The rest of the evening passes as a happy blur. You can't be prouder. You couldn't be prouder. Whatever, same difference. A sign of things to come. Day 278. Shopping, something that always seemed so tedious before the sanctions, has become even more of a chore now. You managed to get almost everything you needed for the family this evening, but you'll have to come back tomorrow to get through the week. There's a queue to leave the car park, though it's hard to make out why in the dark. Hopefully, whatever's causing it won't be long. As the final car in front of you drives off, you realize the queue is actually due to a checkpoint set up at the exit. A friendly-looking man in an advanced uniform, CCO, emblazoned in a number of places on it, approaches your car and knocks on the driver's side window. Roll it down. Good evening. Nothing to worry about. I was just wondering if I could see your team membership card, please. Weren't these cards supposed to be voluntary? I'm sorry, I don't have one. Yeah, that's not a problem. We've got forms with us right here, and we're more than happy to sign you up. The man gestures to his colleagues behind him. A young woman in a similar uniform. She clearly received the short end of the stick and is stuck with the paperwork. I thought these cards weren't required. Well, strictly speaking, they're not, but there's also loads of benefits to having them and no reason not to get one. His smile fades a bit, and when he puts a hand up to scratch the back of his neck for a moment, he leans over to you, his presence now seeming a little intimidating. No thanks, it's not something I want right now. Almost instantly, the friendly demeanor is gone, and his expression is one of stern disapproval. Well, obviously I can't make you sign up, but I would strongly recommend you do. And soon, we wouldn't want people to think you had anything to hide, would we? He takes a step back and gestures for you to drive on. You're sure to see him writing something down in your rear view mirror as you head home somewhat more hurried than before. Clearly Advanced are very keen on everyone joining the team. So yeah, the thing that's not an ID card is becoming an ID card. An invitation worth ignoring. Day 290. It's Saturday, one of your few days off, and you've made most of it. But as late afternoon draws on, the invitation sits pinned to the fridge, staring accusingly at you. Channel 1 Gala is a mandatory work event. Bozeman was very quick to tell you, also, don't you dare be late. You already skipped a work weekend once, you can't do it again, best go. As start getting ready, you wonder if Sam will give you a lift. A drink or two might help with the enforced office socializing. Hopefully, it won't be too hard. After all, you're pretty good at your job, right? National Nightly News, still on day 290. At this point, it should be night 290, I guess. You arrive on time, barely at the Slovenian. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. One of the oldest and grandest hotels in the capital. You're surprised to see a queue to get in and quickly realize it's because people are being searched at the door by some very military-looking personnel in smart attire. While you're waiting, you can't help but notice just how very opulent the building is. Possibly the fanciest place you've been to in your life. You submit to being patted down and with a sigh of relief are led into the hotel. Once inside, you're directed to the grand ballroom. In the following signs, you marvel at the sheer scale of the place and the amount of armed security guards. When you finally arrive, a very severe-looking woman at the door asks for your name. I'm Alex Winston. She curtly checks her list before whispering something to the waiter beside her. You've made it just in time to be seated before dinner. Please follow Emmanuel here to your table. When he smiles at you and opens one of the great double doors, gesturing for you to enter. Immediately, you can see why it's called the Grand Ballroom. You pause for a second to take it all in. You feel a slight tap on your arm, and Emmanuel gestures for you to follow him. He seats you at the table in the center floor area, with a decent view of the stage. Clearly, you're in Bozeman's good books at the moment. You're sat with some colleagues you've seen around the Channel 1 offices before, but don't know that well. One of them informs you, far too excitedly, it's a very corporate evening of awards and speeches. At least the food should be good. Dinner is indeed lovely, and with the help of the, no doubt, very expensive wine, conversation flows easily enough. In fact, much to your surprise, you're actually presented with an award for Best Newcomer to the Channel 1 family. Well, this one's unexpected. As you walk up to collect it, you recognize the presenter as Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey of Incursor fame. He thanks Advance for sponsoring this year's gala before specifically thanking Prime Minister Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement for being in attendance tonight. As you take to the stage, you see the frontmost central table does indeed seat the Prime Ministers, as well as Bozeman, Megan, and some other very well-to-do types that you don't recognize. That explains all security. As you're handed the award, Dr. Atkinson asks if you'd like to say a few words. I will say this one. You're a little nervous and sputter out some quick praise for Advance and Channel. Hey, we'll do this one. You make a joke thanking Dave for fleeing the country and leaving you the job. Most of the room breaks out into polite laughter, but you see that neither of the Prime Minister cracks so much as a smile, and nor does Bozeman. He's too busy frantically flipping between examining Peter and Julia for a reaction and glaring daggers at you. Eventually they'll join in the light applause as Adrian ushers you back to your seat. They may not have been the smartest one. Just as you're finishing up dinner, one of the other people at your table points behind you. As you turn to see Bozeman walking briskly past with Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement in tow. You're pretty sure he was pointedly ignoring you. He seems to be introducing the Prime Ministers to a selection of people at different tables. Better them than you. Finish up the rest of the meal, listen to the few speeches, and head home. All in all, it was a surprisingly nice evening. You might actually look forward to the next one, providing Bozeman invites you to that one, of course. Hey, Del Boy! Del Boy, do you need any updates as to what the hell is going on in this game? Where we're at? Oh, I gotta get things turned on.
Oh, well done. I see you've let the trip switch glow. No surprises there. It blew because those valves are overheating in this heat wave. Keep them cool with the fan. Switch it up and down to cool whichever valve is overheating. And keep an eye on the fan's power switch. It's as useless as, well, you, frankly. It keeps switching off and you'll need to turn it back on.
And Bozeman's an asshole.
The gauge in the front view will give you an indication when things are hotting up, and hopefully even some
You say hotting up? Heating up.
sizzling. Don't lose control of the room. Bozeman out.
I'm sweating like Peter Clement in an off-license here.
Okay, we're working on it.
What, you've got someone to hose down the sun, have you?
Yes, they've just strapped on their wax wings.
Classical illusions are no substitute for air conditioning.
Alright, here, let me pause real quick. Okay, so Del Boy, we're playing as a media broadcaster, right? We can essentially control the narrative and make the world see things the way we want them to see. A new government called Advance has taken over through democracy. They were voted in. However, their first move in office was to take money from the rich and give it to everyone else. The rich weren't happy about that. Then, what they've gone ahead and done was they opened up transition centers for the elderly. Essentially what that means is if you have an elderly family member who's living with you because you can't afford a nurse for them, or they just can't, they're not able to take care of themselves, you can send them to a transition center where you'll never see them again. If you get what they're doing. Now, neighboring governments do not agree with what our government is doing, so now our government is being sanctioned. Advance and our country are being sanctioned by these governments because they don't agree. Hey, Alyssa, what's going on? Now, at this moment, we're in the middle of a situation where, now the government has kind of taken over the media, and they're telling us what to censor and what not to censor. But we can choose whether or not to do that.
You know, I genuinely thought you'd be in a better mood today.
That's pretty much the
gist.
Yes, but he is. Our gun-toting handler.
Who, Andy?
I don't know what the fuck his name is, do I?
Like hospice, yes, except hospice kills your grandmother.
I
That's basically what it is.
Give me the willies.
But they write it in a very nice way. Where it's like, oh, what's wrong with this? They get to dine on fine wines and have spa days before they die.
5, 4, 3.
Jesus, Alyssa, you all right?
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Siege mentality. The World Council today established a military blockade to enforce the unjust and punitive sanctions now entering their 10th week.
I don't think there's a
In a
difference in these two
statement from
choices.
team headquarters a short time ago, Prime Minister Julia Salisbury issued a commanding response to this unprovoked escalation.
The regrettable decision taken by the World Council this morning have left the citizens of this country isolated and fearful.
Shit
But
up.
advance have
Hope you're
prepared
feeling all
for
right,
this
Alyssa.
day.
Hope you start feeling
Our
better.
stockpiles are large, our wealth is unfathomable, and we will defend our citizens with every last breath from this latest brutal and calculated act of war. We are with you.
So now because of the
One
sanctions,
team.
to try to squeeze this
Indivisible
government further, the world, neighboring governments have essentially built a blockade around us to cut us off from the rest of the world.
Ailing business. Wannabe beer magnate Johnny Handsleeves seems to have fallen on hard times as his brewery venture folds. It seems Johnny wasn't cut out for the brewing business, as poor sales forced him to close his doors. And if this exclusive image is anything to go by, he hasn't been handling it well. Pictured here on day 4 of his nationwide tour, where he's vowing to deck the doubters, the failed entrepreneur is making his way from pub to pub, thumping anyone who dares call his brew too hoppy. In it to win it. Exciting news from Advance today with the announcement of a new monthly prize draw for all team membership card holders. Every month, lucky winners from across the country
The old guy looks funnier,
will be
something with
picked
the
at
old guy.
random to receive what Team HQ are describing as unique prizes worth more than money used to be. Take-up on the scheme has been much higher than expected, and if this lucky winner's delighted face is anything to go by, it looks like pretty soon everyone's going to have one. Glory hole? Due to the overwhelming public disapproval of their controversial moves, Remington's Fist announced that excavations are to be discontinued and the unfinished tunnel repurposed. Speaking from her divorce lawyer's parking lot, pitiful CEO Sophia Remington admitted the attempt to dig through the earth was short-sighted and ambitious, and unveiled the future of the abandoned hole. Sophia hailed the planned underground amusement park as a visionary design. According to a spokesman,
So
it's
yeah,
just like
Delphi,
a
basically,
regular theme
we're
park,
given, we're
but
in
damper
this situation,
and
we're
more
presented
susceptible
with
to
a couple
gaming.
of options. We get to pick how
Oh,
we want the
Captain,
story
my
to be
Captain.
narrated.
Progress
Or
today for the stranded
ah.
scientists of Dante's
Presented.
Taint, as the captain leading their rescue mission is announced. The trapped team have survived in the cave system for many months now, but hope is on the horizon as the expedition leader is announced by the Board of Underground Theoretics. A respected professional with
Yeah, I
decades
would have
of
let you guys vote
experience,
on stuff,
training and knowledge,
but this
Captain
game goes
Audrey
by
Aerospace
so
is
fast
said to be
that
the only real
you guys
choice
would not have a chance
to
to vote in time.
successfully save the troubled scientific excursion, but an unfortunate one to be sat next to at a dinner party or social occasion. Life during wartime. As if we didn't have enough aggressors on our borders, internal problems are growing for the government as radical activist group Disrupt caused chaos in Parliament Park last night. Scuffles broke out after the protest, resulting in multiple arrests and the injury of 3 community cohesion officers. Advance have yet to comment. The reckless fire will certainly be remembered by all those who have seen these striking images. As their actions escalate, people across the country are asking themselves, who are Disrupt and what exactly do they want? Other than a new box of matches, of course. All this, and I'll be talking to some people with fascinating medical conditions, as well as one of the contenders in this year's Feline Football Championship and her proud owner. That's all up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Technically, I can pause the game, but that would just kind of throw off the flow of the game. You're not wrong, Asher, but Oh shit, hold on. What? Son of a bitch, come on. That's gonna cause me some problems. Yeah, I know, check the power.
Don't forget about that pesky power button on the fan.
But first tonight, our team of
That was
correspondents has
so
been
bad,
dispatched
holy
to every corner of the country to see how the people of this great nation of ours are coping with this unprecedented hot weather. First, let's go to Megan Wolfe in Shining on Sea to see what the scientific community has to say. Megan, how's the weather there?
It's absolutely glorious, Jeremy. Thank you for asking. I'm here with Dr. Anna Burns of the University of Princeford. Are you enjoying the weather as much as I am?
Oh, yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? My eyelids are sweating.
And you're part of a team carrying out a study into just what's causing this unbelievable heat, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we want to be able to reassure the public once and for all that there's absolutely nothing to worry about and that they can enjoy their sunstroke and fossil fuels in peace.
You sound very confident about that.
Oh, very much so. I can say without any hesitation, there's really no cause for any concern here. I've actually left my car running.
So tell us about this experiment.
Well, we take data from weather stations from all over the world, along with atmospheric samples, and we take all that and we feed it into this state-of-the-art computer, and very soon
She does not sound like she's all for this. She sounds very much skeptical.
Very fancy.
I should just say, none of this would be possible without the generous support of Remington's Fist. This is all thanks to their unrivaled investment in our future.
Shit.
And may I just say, complimentary personal anecdotes. Oh, here we go. And, as expected, everything is absolutely fucked. Hang on. This can't be right.
Right, but obviously you said a second ago that everything is absolutely fine, so, you know.
Well, actually, under concern level, it just says, why, God, why?
Under concern level, it just says, God, why?
These wonderful results, I think. There we are.
Yeah, pretty much, Asher.
Gills within 40 years.
You look thirsty.
Here it just says, shit.
Look at you. This is meant to be a celebration. Can't go around looking like that.
Shit,
there you go. Much better. Can I just say thank you again to Sophia Remington for providing all of this?
Yeah, when you're studying the Earth and your computer is literally saying, hey, so the situation on Earth, it's fucked.
Abandon hope and return to the forest.
There you are. Enjoy that. I'd like to thank Dr. Burns for just one opinion on the climate.
The sea will reclaim us all.
There you have it, Jeremy. Proof, if proof be need be.
Okay, so for those of you guys who just tuned in, over here, I don't know if, oh, you can't see my mouse cursor, crap, hold on.
Megan Wolf there, attempting to do some actual news. Next, heads over to Robin Short, who's in Scritchford with some of the winners of this
You'll
week's
see my cursor
team
now.
membership lottery.
So if you look over here where my cursor is at,
Thanks, Jeremy.
if it turns red, I need to censor. I have to censor that. If it turns blue, though, the government wants me to censor it, and I don't have to. That's an option.
Poet. Both of you are drawn at random from those who hold team membership cards to receive this week's amazing prize. How do you feel?
Filled with fervent euphoria.
Yeah, good, yeah.
And all that we had to do was fill in a quick form or two.
Wow, that sounds so convenient. But we're all dying to know, what have you won?
That's right, Robin. I've won dinner with Julius Salisbury at one of the capital's top restaurants.
Ooh, swanky.
And I've been invited to Peter Clement's house to help him dredge the gutter in.
That's absolutely terrific. You must both be over the moon.
I've written a
Words,
poem
welcome to
about
the stream, friend.
So, can you tell me
this game
about
isn't
the moment
necessarily
you
about
first
censorship,
heard the
more
news?
so the media's effect over the world.
Difficult floater.
Like, for example, the government that just took over, we can either make them look good and help them stay in power, or we can make them look bad and get them out of power. To be clear as to what's going on at the moment, our government is being, sanctioned, and we are being blocked off from the rest of the world by foreign military powers. We can use the media to boost morale and help fight this, or we can make everything look bad and essentially the government might collapse. Or it might make the war worse if a war starts.
I suppose.
Would you like to hear one?
No, thank you. Gary, when you signed up for team membership, was it in hopes of winning the lottery, or were there other reasons?
I like a flutter, of course, but no, the boss said I had to sign
And
up
yeah,
to
Del Boy, as for
school.
censorship, like it will literally tell me over here what I gotta censor. This is just a signal, so I have to keep this up to date so that way it doesn't screw the signal. This tells me how the broadcast is going. If this hits 0, I lose. And these are just the different feeds. I will have to swap through these throughout the
I'd rather hear about Gary's
This
turd
right here is for ads.
Really?
So
I
when
thought you might say that.
the segment ends, I just, turn on an ad.
Are you all right?
And she's losing her mind.
It's coming. It's inspiration, and it's delicious.
Right you are.
Today on the show, there's no news, just a man who keeps multiple poos.
Here,
No.
this big one's my favourite.
Oh, yeah, he collects poop.
Really lovely texture.
Would you encourage other people to enter for their chance
Not yet,
to
Danny.
win?
No one's dropped the N-word yet, but this man's got a poop. He's got plenty of poops. He's got a tray
The
full of poop.
national news lost its way when it covered some crap on a tray.
Some of these are quite rare.
Maybe that was unfair.
And that's all we have time for today. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Robin. What a lucky pair they are. And finally in this segment, it's over to Patrick Bannon, who's gone to the smelliest town in the country to see how the unprecedented weather is affecting the
Yeah,
locals.
but doesn't she?
Patrick?
Hello there, Jeremy. Hello, yes. I'm here live in Grizzleford, which has recently voted the smelliest town in the country. And I have to say that, you know, in this heat, the smell really is. I mean, it's something else. Barry Lardons, mate, you've lived here your whole life. How'd you put up with the stink?
Well, we're just all very proud of our achievement, to be honest with you. You can tell that, look at him, proud as punch. Do you know what it's like, son, being the second smelliest town? No, I don't. Living in the shadow of Arseminster. Those smug fucks. But who's laughing now, eh?
You see, Del Boy,
That's for sure.
as a medic, I don't let
mate?
teammates die.
Right, the good
If anything, I
people
put them
from
out of their
Winton
misery if need
Smith
be. I just
came
make my
in
job
and
is just to
saved
make
the
them more
day
comfortable.
with their factory.
You're talking, of course, about the newly built flour factory.
Yeah, they gave us this big presentation on jobs and growth. But as soon as we heard about the stench, we paid them whatever they wanted to put it here.
Does the stink not affect your life in every way, Barry? I mean, perhaps if you're filling in a tax return or completing the physical act of love.
It's strong at first, but you get used to it after several weeks of your first.
Absolutely,
bout of
words. We got that
sickness.
censored
The
right on
judges
point.
were
We're good. Oh,
very
crap.
So, what's the sickness?
Oh, that's nothing to worry about. It takes a few minutes before you develop any symptoms. Now,
Wait, Crusader,
Frank,
what Red versus
I'll
Blue
tell you
reference?
Something about the production line.
Oh, yeah,
and how
yeah.
they dump carcasses
See you later,
directly
Asher.
into
Have a
the
good night,
waterway.
bro.
But
Glad to
I
have
think
you, man.
it's probably the few
Have a good night.
valves on the high street.
On the high street? Should I see a doctor? What are the symptoms?
Well, the first one is asking stupid questions. Then folk experience a loss of inhibition.
Fuck off, do they? When was the last time you brushed your teeth, this stinking old tramp?
Next recording is a period of randomly bursting into song, followed immediately by delusions of grandeur.
That's not going to I've never sung in my life. Hello, it's sexy Patrick Bannon, and he's wearing sexy shorts now. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like a stallion. I'm gorgeous. Why didn't you tell me? I should take my shirt off. You know what? I'll even let you touch me if you want.
That will be the bout of undeserved self-confidence.
Love the Bannon. Feel the Bannon. Oh, man, what's the
And the ennui. All that's left now are the hallucinations and unconsciousness.
Nano Dotty? Was that you?
So the reason why he's going nuts is
Why
apparently
you
he's in the
make up
smelliest
elbows?
town in the world,
You
and
know, I
because
don't
of
think
the
opinions-
increased odor, he's having all these symptoms, and now he's out.
Oh, don't worry, folks. Once he wakes up, he'll be just fine. We'll just find a place to stick him where it won't matter how many times he evacuates his bowels. Right, that's all here from Grizzleford, a town that's really making a stink. I'm Barry Lardons. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thanks, Barry. With a naval blockade being set up around our coastline as we speak, when we come back, I'll be talking to 3 members of the general public who
Exactly,
appear to be
Del
here purely for medical reasons. Don't go away. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do. We'll be back after these messages.
So one thing I should point out too is every now and then if you look out the window, or if we look out the window, you see things change.
Keep your eyes and ears peeled for subversive talk. It would be nice if you could try not to undermine the station tonight. People are starting to
And I
notice
can't
you
do
now.
this anymore.
You say this every Friday.
I've done something.
What do you mean? Jeremy?
My mic is still live.
He did something? What did Jeremy do? Jeremy did something. Oh, I remember this! Oh, I remember this episode. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this, I don't know if YouTube is gonna have a problem with me. Yeah, I remember this part. I think this might be what I'm thinking of.
That's what I'm talking about? Cat football? We should be doing an interview with the War Minister.
Yep, this is it.
Or a
Yep.
report from Grentham Downs. Even the weather will be more fucking relevant than this.
Jeremy, please, just breathe. It's just something light to keep people's minds off things.
Exactly, which is wrong. People's minds should be very much on things. Christ, it's so fucking hot.
Please take your seats as quickly as you can.
I can't do this anymore, Jenny. I've had enough. That's it. This is just
10 seconds. Get over yourself, Jeremy. Why don't you stop feeling sorry for yourself for 5, 4, 3.
And we're live. As soon as he looks at the camera.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, your host, Jeremy Donaldson. Later, we'll be talking to the captain of the territory's first cat football team, Professor Pumpkin. But first, I'm joined by 3 guests with some balmy bodily behaviours. Joining me is a woman who's been hiccuping for over 9 months. Isn't that right, Miss Piercy?
Yes, that's right.
Yes. Tell us, what brought all this on?
Well, it's all a bit of a blur, Jeremy, to be totally frank with you. See, I was watching your show and I remember seeing the news about the election, and it hasn't stopped since.
Fascinating stuff. Also here is Frankie Steampipe. Perhaps you could explain to us exactly what your physiological foreboil is.
I'm here to say it's high time people like me were respected. We're constantly overlooked in the workplace, we're whispered about on buses, and we're asked politely to leave children's birthday parties. And it's disgusting.
He seems to be enjoying himself. There you go, just ripping one out.
I'm sorry, my bowels have comic timing.
And finally, I'm joined by a man who answers every question honestly, even when it isn't aimed at him. How do you cope with that, Mr. Truman?
With a combination of booze, self-hatred, and hardcore pornography.
Oh,
Is that right?
Not according to my therapist.
Well, in that case, let's speak to Rose. Tell me, how does the hiccuping impact you?
I get shushed a lot, which is hard. At work, they've asked me to stop answering the phones. It's really affected my confidence.
Well, I find it really fucking irritating.
Do people tend to believe your story?
Fuck no.
Actually, I've been surprised at how much support I've
Too much
received.
censoring.
And Frankie, why have you come here today?
Because my wife left me, and I was hoping that the fame would win her back.
We've started a group for people with ailments deemed broadly comical by society.
Right.
It's called Take Us Seriously.
That's right. And we bloody well mean it.
And who's joined so far?
A bunch of fucking losers.
It's just us so far.
And how much success have you had?
Well, we've seen some real positive changes.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's been a runaway success.
Shit all. Not a single person come to our fun run, and all of our leaflets fell in the canal.
Well, Miss Piercy, some people are saying your condition was actually caused by the shocking events of that night. What do you think?
Come now, Mr. Donaldson, that's absolute rubbish.
What it'd be like to have a pair of tits.
Could you? I'm sorry, it's very hot. What was I thinking?
That you're a team fuck puppet?
No.
Or a sellout cunt?
Apologies.
God damn.
Just a reminder that
That's
it's
a little
done now,
too,
but hey, if
little
this
too
isn't
honest.
live television, then what is it?
Fuckfest of propaganda masquerading as journalism.
Right, Frankie, Rose, tell us.
Yeah, he's a little, yeah, Delpo, he's a little too honest.
Yes, we're holding a sponsored run in Capital Park next weekend. It's called the No Smiles 13 Miles.
No, it's called the No Laugh Half. What did I say before the show?
That it was the team pulling Jeremy Donaldson's strings.
No, I didn't say.
But yeah, so when it turns blue, that's the government wanting us to censor it.
What a harmless bit of fun.
And that's a police officer.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. We demand respect.
Yes, well, later, I'll be talking to Professor Pumpkin, a ginger tabby with a world-class pair of penalty paws. Is that really necessary?
No, it isn't. Let go. Not you.
Unhand him at once.
Enough! That's enough! Enough!
Yep, this is it.
What are you doing?
Try not to piss myself.
Alex, cut.
Don't you dare! Don't you fucking dare cut to the ads before I tell you to. Now, you in the broadcast centre, Bozeman's little scapegoat, you listen to me. You cut to the ads before I tell you to, and I will kill every single person in this studio. I am thinking about what I'm doing. I've been thinking about it for a long time. We all should be. Christ, it's so fucking hot in here. Do you remember when we used to do the real news? Before it was all lottery winners and bloody cat football? We are on the brinks of a siege, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in hundreds
Hold on there,
of years.
Doughboy. You don't want to judge him just yet. Hold on, hold on.
And I'm stuck here talking to these three fucking idiots.
I think my hiccups have stopped.
You three, get the fuck out of my studio. Go on, now, go, before I change my mind. Jenny, lock the doors. Lock the doors.
Yes, Jeremy.
Now. Good. Yes. Now. Right then. You in the broadcast centre. Alex, you listen to me. You pay attention. Now, I'm sure you've already loaded up exactly what you're going to play in the commercial, but today is going to be a little bit different. Look to your right. Yes, really. Look to your right. There is a VHS tape, and I want you to load it into one of the machines, and when I say so, and not before, you play it. You've got about 15 seconds, so I wouldn't waste any time. Now, all cameras.
Alex, I know I've doubted your competence, but surely even you know better than to play that tape. We don't take orders from armed lunatics. Play a normal advert or there will be consequences.
Or for now, we're going to show the other side for a bit. For a bit of fucking balance. Like the good old
What's up, words? You heading back? You heading out for a minute?
Play the fucking tape. Now, I don't want to hurt any of you.
I'm gonna play it.
I see
'Cause there's actually a story
like,
reason behind
I
it.
will not hesitate to start.
You're going to get me in trouble with that. Let's hope you made the right call.
Reset the system for the third segment. I imagine the ratings are going to be through the roof.
Hey, A+. But yeah, don't judge Jeremy just yet. But here, let me.
Distance. It's time you knew the truth. You know advance are lying to you. You know the elderly are not.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, we'll be right back.
You know the rich were not all evil.
I got you, bro.
And you know the team membership card is an ID card, no matter what they try to tell you.
So essentially, the government's taking more control than it probably should.
Another faceless organization. A shadowy figure with a distorted voice. You've seen it so many times in the movies.
Now this guy, when we,
This
oh,
is not.
this guy is basically this universe's version of Alex Jones.
My name is Alan James. I used to try and shock people for a living, for entertainment. But now we live in a time where perhaps you need to be shocked. Perhaps we need to wake up. Advance are coming
Exactly
for our
words.
freedoms. They are coming for the fruits of our labors. They will take our wealth. They will euthanize our parents and smiling throughout. They will turn our children against us if we voice our concerns. But you don't have to accept it.
Oh, Del Boy, that'll kill my channel. No, I can't do that.
You can resist. You can disrupt. Find us. Talk with us. Join us.
What now?
It isn't hard.
I don't know.
We're everywhere.
This wasn't what I planned. I mean, some of it was. I had a speech, look. But this was unexpected.
So what now, Jeremy?
It was supposed to be your day off.
God, please, don't do any more stupid things today.
How long? How long, Jenny?
We're already live.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Joining me, unexpectedly, for I very much imagine we
True, Del Boy. Yeah, maybe we can get around it.
New guests.
Maybe we can
Jenny works here at
somehow
the
cover it
National
up.
Nightly News, and is someone
Hopefully
I
you two
consider,
won't get mad. Maybe.
well, a friend. And next to her is, what's your name?
Andy.
Andy's a policeman. Only we don't call him that anymore. He's a community cohesion official.
Officer.
Sorry?
It's community cohesion officer, CCO.
And how's that feel, Andy? Being rebranded?
It's good. it's not about confrontation anymore. You know, the force had its fair share of problems. The team doesn't have as many.
But it still has some.
I couldn't say.
Couldn't or wouldn't?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Christ, you're fucking useless, aren't you? We'll come back to you later. Jenny?
I don't want to be on the news, Jeremy.
you'd want to do this.
Oh, okay, I got you, Del Boy.
Jenny,
Wait, leave it out, champ. What,
why did
for the
you
broadcast,
join
what do you
the
mean? I'm a little
National
confused. I'm
Mining
sorry.
News team?
I always wanted to work in news.
Yes, but why specifically this program? The National Nightly News.
It was the news everyone trusted.
Was?
Is. Do you really want to quibble semantics at gunpoint?
Is there something else you'd rather discuss?
Oh, there is a great big Alan James-sized elephant in the room you seem to be ignoring.
What do you mean?
I saw your face when that hood came down. You didn't know, did you?
It's about the message, not the messenger.
Like I said, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know. The people I met were with. He wasn't there.
God,
I didn't know it was Alan James.
I'm sorry, but seriously, Alan fucking James. You're flushing your life down the toilet for. God, I love you, Jeremy, but
He's a good speaker. He's popular in the country.
That right?
Look, forget Alan James. There is still something deeply wrong. And you know it, Jenny. And you know it, Andy. And you at home, you know it too. Meanwhile, I'm interviewing a guest who stinks of shit. Patrick is paddling about in shit. And Robin is literally interviewing someone who collects the fucking stuff.
That is true. That is all very
it's
true.
not sophisticated, but what a metaphor. We are sleepwalking our way into oppression, and the news isn't saying anything. We're not saying anything.
Says who? Alan fucking James.
What are all those scientists working on at Grantham Downs? What are they testing underground at Altergrave? Andy, your turn. Make yourself fucking useful. How many people have you brought in for consultations just because they weren't carrying or didn't have team membership cards?
Oh, well, there's other forms of identification that we will accept.
For how long?
We're just here to help.
Then why do you need these?
Got a point.
Not really help when it's offered at gunpoint, is it, Andy? Let me demonstrate it for you. Let me help you. You eat these cards with my notes on it, and you'll probably digest a fact. That'd be helpful, wouldn't it, Andy? Knowing a fact?
What? I don't
Do you want my help,
Yes,
Andy?
yes, whatever you say, yes.
Security are here, Jeremy.
Eat it.
What?
Eat the fucking news, Andy, or I'll force it down your fucking throat.
God damn, he's a little aggressive.
Go on.
Really?
Eat it! Eat it, you fucking bully!
Jeremy, stop! They will kill you. Please,
Oh.
don't make me watch that.
Of course. You're right.
Yeah, you might have a point there, Del Boy. You might be, yeah,
Sorry,
guys like him. But granted, he's getting tired of it. He's being told to censor,
You
he
can put the card
can't
down
really
now.
do the news anymore. He's being told what to tell people, and he's getting tired of it, so he
You
finally
can go
snapped.
now. You too, Jenny. Fuck off over there. And then he done. All cameras on me. This new regime of ours is so seductive. I understand that. But before we all hand off our freedoms, should we ask to whom we're handing them over? Don't you want to know what's being done in your name? How many people were transitioned last month? A record high. Again, if you care. Shouldn't someone ask Advance how they plan to deal with this blockade? How many years or months of supplies we have? Why aren't we asking these questions instead of whose shit is this? There's a cat backstage dressed as a fucking goalie, for Christ's sake. He's even got the little gloves. Anyway,
It's bad they kind of want to see the little cat.
that's why I arranged for you to see that broadcast in the last break. I didn't know it was going to be him, but I guess that just about sums it up. We are all up Ship Creek with a paddle made of Alan fucking James. Christ, it's also fucking pointless. I was going to quit tonight. Take a holiday. Try something else. Out of the limelight. Maybe try having a relationship. I hear they're nice. Never tried it. I loved the news. And now, well...
Oh, God, Jeremy, don't!
I've tried my best to be honest with you, but this just isn't the news anymore. And I'm sorry.
Ads.
I've lost this fight.
Alex, think of the consequences.
I've let you down.
Please, we can't show
All
this.
of
Cut
you.
to the ads.
My name's Jeremy
Now.
Donaldson.
That actually might have an effect on the story. That's why I cut it. And also, YouTube is very, very unappreciative of stuff like that. So, for the sake of not terminating my channel, I'd like to be careful. Well, everyone hates the government. Disrupt everyone loves, and Channel 1 still hates me. Okay. So, before we continue, everyone's thoughts so far? Our government is being sanctioned and surrounded by a foreign military. We're on the brink of war. A news host just almost killed everyone. I actually don't remember what that clip happened. If anything, I'll look it up and see what happens in the... I'll look it up for you, Del Poi. I'll put it in the Discord. But anyway. Everyone's thoughts? Alright. Day 297. A tape to remember. You wake up still partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night. What you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. Take a seat on the sofa between Sam and Susie. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night after everything that happened. Sam shakes their head. I wonder what they'll do with him now. Are you okay? I can't shake the feeling that you might be right. Sam looks to the kids, then back to you. We saw that you chose to play that tape. You paused before continuing. And I couldn't help but wonder why. I didn't feel like I had a choice. What? That's not good enough. Disrupt are bad people. I can't believe you did that. Charlie's outburst seems to come out of nowhere. And no one in the room is prepared for it. Do you even think about how this stuff affects people? You're a fucking idiot. Sam tries to interject Charlie, but he's already slammed the door. Charlie always was a bit of a black and white about this sort of thing. For some reason I thought it was a black sheep. Yeah, so Jeremy survived. If I actually no, now that they said that, if I remember correctly, there is there might be multiple scenarios in the way that it plays out. Either he does shoot himself, or security bursts in and grabs him. So Jeremy survived, he got arrested. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you were in an impossible situation, and somehow you managed to make the right call. Sam throws their arms around you. Only you were stuck in that studio having to make that choice. No one can criticize you for what you did, and I'm proud of you. You've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. You take a deep breath and gather your thoughts. It's a lot to take in. You're not sure you fully processed what happened last night, let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it. You look to your daughter. I know it's an incredibly difficult thing, and we don't always agree, but I do think you made the right choice. Susie smiles at you. You had to play it. There was just no other option. You put an arm around her and give her an affectionate squeeze. It's nice you've at least got some company. The TV is playing through an old Western show, but it's not quite as distracting as you'd hope. You were never going to please everyone. Actually, if we get the right ending, things get good. I will put it that way. But yes, Jeremy did survive. Day 324. The questionable choice. You got off work early today, a rare enough occurrence to put a spring in your step. As you close the front door, you can hear excited conversation bubbling from the kitchen. Clearly, someone's popped around for a cup of Sam's Friday off. Or a cup on Sam's Friday off. Hopefully, there is some biscuits left. As you enter the kitchen, you see Sam and Susie enthusiastically discussing something. Your daughter's still in her scrubs, having clearly come straight from work. I've got a posting I was hoping for, she gushes. I'll be doing my placement in the new transition center, really helping people like Grandma. Oh, no. She's gonna be killing elderly people. Yeah, why would you want to work in one of those terrible places? Because I want to help people that are suffering. I don't want anyone else to have to go through what Grandma did or what we did. Susie and Sam share a knowing but pain smile. Hardly surprising you don't get that though. Ouch. No. Words. He didn't, it wasn't a BB gun. He grabbed it off the police officer. The cohesion officer. He literally grabbed it out of the guy's holster. You ever hear those lines from cops? He reached for my gun? No, Jeremy literally reached for that officer's gun, and he grabbed it. So it wasn't a BB gun. It's just that security came in and nailed him just in time. Ah, now we're at war!
Alex, Bozeman, your boss. We're expecting deplorables from Disrupt to hack the signal tonight. Perhaps you could leave your personal beliefs at home and try not to let them ruin the broadcast. Even if you don't care for the government, I assume you understand you have a vested interest in us staying on the air. Stay out of the orange.
So orange is pro-disrupt. Blue is pro-government. I'm sorry, anti-government and anti-disrupt. The red is just general censorship. So if I censor the blue, I'm pro-government. If I censor the orange, I'm pro-disrupt. Yes.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear this from me.
Oh no, the game continues. The game's not over yet. No. We are far from the end, my friend. We are at war. The government, okay, let me pause real quick. We are being blockaded. Our government is literally being strangled economically, and it's gotten to a point where now war is inevitable. We are at war. So, Jeremy lashed out, but the other chick, Megan Wolf, she takes over for him. That's what's happening right now. But we're at war. And like I said, there's a lot more to go. Stay tuned.
Tonight. They'll get it on the night news.
Oh, great. So they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
Sometimes you sound just like him, you know.
How are you?
Absolutely, Del Boy.
It is what it is.
Gonna give him the best goddamn broadcast we can.
I miss him too, you know.
10 seconds, everybody.
Rumpled old sod.
Don't. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Sadly, however, more casualties were reported
Actually,
today,
words
and
as we get
weeks
forward, you're
and
going to
months of
notice
this
that
war
the
make
media
ever
is
more
more
demands on our
pro-government,
armed
even if we don't
services.
want it to be.
Those numbers
So yeah,
will
you're right. It's
tragically
going to be
only continue
propaganda
to
time.
rise. Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. However, with a reported rise in mental and physical health issues since the imposition of the blockade, critics have questioned whether those smaller communities which are only now starting to receive help could have been better and quicker served. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations
I think there's like 14,
calling for
Del
it to
Boy.
be opened
I
up
think this
to
game
the
has
wider
14 different
community.
endings.
With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like
now
to
those
run
team
fashionably
cards
late,
that were
they can expect a few tricky
optional
questions
are
from
now
advance.
mandatory.
Street Fighting Man. Spokesman Alan James today announced that Disrupt were responsible for the 2 explosions which rocked the capital's warehouse district last night. Julia Salisbury condemned the attack on what she described as vital medical supplies as pointless and barbaric. Mr. James commented, "Disrupt are strong and our numbers are growing. Advance fear us, and they should, because we're holding the line for freedom." And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former National Nightly News anchor Jeremy Donaldson.
Yep, so they got
The
Jeremy
presenter will
in
be
custody.
transferred to new lodgings at Pension Ridge Prison, while the lengthy
So Jeremy
preparations
survived.
for his trial, which is still
But he's
18
in
months
jail.
away, begin. Following his very public breakdown on this programme 10 weeks ago, the once-loved presenter was disarmed and taken into custody by the Community Cohesion Team. Let's hope doctors can help the once great man. But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lanfordshire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
To be clear, she's saying she's gonna grill Clement, right? Like, oh, we're gonna get him. We're gonna understand. We're gonna figure out why things are going the way it is. She ain't gonna grill him because the government controls the media now. She's gonna say the questions that they, want us to ask.
In part two, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanfordshire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong? Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it?
This guy's the Prime Minister.
That's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this new you? Tell us what brought about this.
Last night, freedom fighters working for Disrupt destroyed a farmer-side storage facility in the warehouse district of the capital. You'll no doubt hear it described as terrorism, but our intent was not to provoke fear, but thought. No one was killed in the operation, which destroyed both the warehouse and all its contents. But what were those contents? Drugs. Drugs used in transition centres.
Fuck you, boss. You don't pay me enough.
Drugs used to kill our elderly and now are sick as well. We know that this extermination cannot be easily stopped, but perhaps it can be slowed, or if you'll forgive me, disrupted. Farmerside are owned by Advance, but then again isn't everything these days. Advance make the glossy TV adverts, the drugs, the transition centres, and the law. No government should have that much power. The power to choose the moment of your death belongs to no one, not even you. The freedom to die is a myth. The only freedom worth fighting for is the freedom to live without fear, in the way you choose. More and more of you are joining Disrupt every day, and with 1,000 tiny acts of resistance, we are stepping closer to the inevitable fall of Advance. Today it is a warehouse. One day soon, it will be the whole system.
The rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What? Did you know about this, Gail? Did you know about this, Gail?
Jeremy Donaldson is to be put on trial. Let's all think about that for a moment. One of the nation's most respected and beloved.
But yeah, Del Poy, as to what you said before, it's a really cool concept for this game. It's basically the modern
Waving a gun
1984.
around, he clearly had no intention of ever using.
Or the
That
intro to
Jeremy
1984,
Donaldson
essentially.
had a very public breakdown is undeniable, but rather than law enforcement, wouldn't medical experts be the one to call? Of course, that was never going to happen. Jeremy Donaldson had a very public breakdown because he simply couldn't take what Advance were doing anymore. He knew that the National Nightly News was being transformed from a bastion of truth into a frivolous chat show. And like a mother watching her child fall under a predator's spell,
Yes, words.
he
Disrupts
couldn't stand by and allow
insignia
that
is
to
the
happen.
like fist bump.
He chose to stand up to Advance, and their response
I
will be
guess
to
PewDiePie
destroy
is a part
him.
of them now?
He will be discredited, shamed, tried and convicted. They will bring
Yeah, I was just
him
thinking
as an example to us all.
Me and Delpoy had the same idea.
Today, Disruptors named him an officer in absentia. We welcome him to our ranks. We are with you, Jeremy. You do not stand alone.
No, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know, I used to really like you, Pat. You were a breath of fresh air. But I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
She's starting to now realize the bullshit with the government. She's starting to
Prime
realize that
Minister,
everything
later on
is...
this evening, your co-leader, Julia Salisbury, is going to give a
dragged along.
national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine that there
Sorry,
will be
you
the
imagine?
usual... no, what I mean is...
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
Well, I'm sure I did. But
sure you
Drew
did?
and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old mum used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards. What else? A little piece of my life. Do you want to rustle through? Get out. Refill my last. Come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
Exactly words.
Well,
you see, like,
Bill
yeah, questions on
tells
the
me
cards.
that I
Oh, yeah,
work out
where do you
till
do to
they'll
work
see.
out?
But I have
Yeah.
absolutely no fucking
And yeah,
idea
Del
what
Poy.
that is.
This guy's a drunk. He's also the Prime Minister. He's the one running the country.
The C stands for...
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually, that does make more sense.
And this guy doesn't even know what his own government's doing.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C and many a fine single malt. I want for nothing. Except for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the culture
Basically,
spot with
Del Poy.
Lil C and a world premiere performance of her new song. I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back after this. 1 minute back, everybody.
I'm actually curious what he's
Stuff
saying.
is complete fucking bog water!
Why we just caught that? So he just said the government's bullshit. So even he knows there's something wrong.
Embolism.
So if it's not already obvious, Julia Salisbury, the other chick, she is like the vice president, but she's the one that's actually running things from behind the scenes.
Who's Lil C?
Are you winding me up?
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
You'll no doubt have spotted the updated mixing disc. You'll need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Oh yeah, so now we have these buttons right here that basically, what is it? It makes a noise to kind of say what we're thinking essentially. So that one's like a oh shit, that's laughter, thumbs down, no good, and that one's hey, everything's good. No worries, Asher. Good to see you again, bud. But nevertheless, have a good night. I'll see you around on the next stream.
I've never heard of her before.
Oh, she's big, really big.
Really? Is she any good?
Nah, of course not.
Of course not.
But kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
Live in 10 seconds.
Hang on, Colin. You've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
What?
Got 6 or 7 kids? Holy crap.
4, 3.
Basically words, yeah.
Thanks
It's
for
canned
coming
laughter.
back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
Okay, so I'm gonna pause real quick. When she does her music, remember what we've learned so far and keep very close eyes on the lyrics. Keep that in mind.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
Ooh, what's the regime?
And my manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
I'm sure it
Bonkers.
exploded
So
like that
weird.
guy
I
all
was in
over
all
her
the
face.
papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really. It was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
Oh, right.
So, this newfound explosion to your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi, but as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So, what's
Screen
the album
3,
about?
they're getting
So
ready
I
for
thought it
her
was
musical
about, like,
thingy.
how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Insecurity is an opportunity. That sounds
with you
fantastic.
telling us all this.
But yeah, I think
Telling
you noticed what I
what?
noticed. They were focusing
It really
on the dude's
doesn't matter
groin.
what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out. Put It In My A Together and...
My friend let her 13-year-old son join the Go-Getters. He's occupied now. Busy, even.
And a clothing line
His
during...
room's never been tidier. But he keeps notebooks he won't let her read. And sometimes she catches him staring at her. And last week, she found him searching through her papers. When confronted, he always had a plausible answer, a good answer. But somehow it's too good. Like it's been prepared in advance. Or possibly by them. We want to know what the news will no longer tell us. And when we find out, we will tell you. We will hack into your news broadcasts. We will defend your right to information. We will resist, and we will disrupt.
Oh yeah, very much though, Poi. But yeah, basically what you just said is the kids that are joining the go-getter group thing, they're basically being turned to like Hitler Youth essentially. They're being told to spy on their families. That's what they're doing.
Did you always want to do music?
Even though this is more of a
ever
communist
since I was
government
a
anyway.
little
But
girl,
still.
I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I'd press record on my cassette. But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Oh, sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud, and you might just survive childbirth."
Oh.
Well, you
Hey.
know what? Despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. But you know what? It's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
So
whenever you hear anything about the team, that's
you
the
can go
government.
get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here is Lucy with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Force's favorite.
Like I said, listen to the lyrics. You'll pick up on something.
Here to breaking your blockades. We'll see.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that that's empty. I want that meet-you packing, only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me, no bloody foreign member. Don't stop no morning drill, there's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no vicar's daughter, common skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier.
It's not even the innuendo, still boy. They're talking about the blockade, they're talking about how basically the war is causing people to get hungry. This is all propaganda. Talking about the team.
I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
Break the sanctions. The government's under sanction for foreign powers.
I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family.
But no, you're right about the innuendos. There's a lot of sexual tension in this.
That's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. I ain't no vicar's daughter, come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and dump them there? I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
Yeah, so you do have this switch. Oh, that's definitely in the way they're holding those guns. That's not YouTube approved. Look at Megan's face. She's like, what are we watching?
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Little C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
So everyone's thoughts? Comments? Concerns?
Can I just say, thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective of me. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about Billy Bob Jean Short? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to start needing it.
I hate to tell you this, but you're going to need all 4 sound effects buttons for this next section. Try and pick the most appropriate sound effect for the actors' lines. They can't hear your choices, so they'll be assuming you're helping things along and not making them look ridiculous. Mind you, after the last section,
Oh no, it's these guys. God damn it.
No, not anymore. I'm better than that now. I'll tell you what. Just keep adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
This guy's become a douche.
5, 4, 3.
Why does he remind me of Darkside Phil?
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now The wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePlume now. How'd you like that?
Well, yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
Yeah, listen, remember. But he looks like it, doesn't he?
Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand
Well said,
to
old
write
boy.
a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking.
Wow.
So killed his father while making money.
Further ado,
Oh shit,
let's
shit,
give it
shit,
up
shit.
for the notice board.
It hasn't started yet. I know you were wrong before, but that doesn't mean stop altogether.
Postman just ripping into
Good
me.
morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts.
Remember,
They
the government's paying for this.
vandalised my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
Damn it.
I'm just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into
Absolutely,
this
Delpo, I gotta get back on point with those,
society
because...
like this key
Yep, go
into
for that one.
this lock.
I'm having a hard time with that key.
See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right.
Did he just get his hand stuck in the mailbox?
Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? Hey?
Wait. Comic book guys, what was that guy's name?
No.
People always talk
It's
crap about him now
Brad.
because apparently he's a
He's
little
the
too political. He
coolest guy
reminds me
in the
exactly of him.
village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What? Did you say tutoring?
Yes, you're right. I can't remember his name. You're right, but Kevin, yeah, you're right. You're right, Del Boy.
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No joy.
So it wasn't you who vandalised my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up?
That's it. Yep, Kevin Smith. Yep.
I thought
That's it, Del Boy.
for
You got
a
him.
minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck?
What the hell is that? Earthquake? Earthquake that took power out? The show was so bad it killed the power and caused an earthquake. Just a reminder, we're at war.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we're receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we're picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into...
So like I said, we're at war.
Into the millions.
And 4 cities just got nuked.
I'm being told
I was hoping for that
we're
too, Danny.
experiencing some power fluctuations as a result, so apologies to any interruption to the broadcast for you at home. And now I am told that we are going live to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury at any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world.
Oh no, I physically can't,
operatives
Burl.
working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres and will not hesitate to detonate them.
We are hearing stories of power fluctuations and what could be minor earthquakes throughout the continent. Stand by.
Move it immediately.
We've lost
We will
contact with
accept
our
you.
benefactors in Urkistan and Konoslava. All our equipment seems to be resetting.
Control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become
we
part
get this
of the
confirmed?
new future.
Can we get this verified?
Your borders
I need
are
this
now
verified.
our borders. Your people are our people.
That doesn't sound like a dictator.
Will finally be
I don't know if you
fed.
can hear me. I don't know if you are receiving this, but if you are, then you have to know.
But
You have to know what's being
your
done.
privileged
What's being done
the moment
right
they feel
now
is now upon
to
us.
our neighbours. This is unprecedented. Our government has committed an act, multiple acts of mass destruction
A
in
single
our name.
shot at our territory, or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not
Nor do I
hesitate
care
to
how you
detonate further
voted. You
devices.
didn't vote for this. None of us did.
You will not find
They.
them.
We.
So no doubt you are already searching
Can't
for
be.
them.
We are waiting further news and... oh, God. What if they
You will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
Well, okay, so there you have it. Advance making a brave move that looks likely to end the war in this, its 20th week. There's a lot to take in here, and I know you, like me, will be wondering if this is too much. If we've gone too far. But I'm thinking of our sick and ill, denied their medicines, the children with no food on their plates, and the body bags returning from the front line. And I ask myself if without some big, bold gesture it would ever stop, and I do not think it ever would. We elected Advance to make this country better for us all, and it was working. But then the rest of the world looked at us and they said this cannot be seen to succeed. And they brought their warships and their tanks and their planes just to make sure that we were instead seen to suffer. To make sure no one anywhere would ever attempt this again. So, to my mind, our government have taken the only path available to them. A difficult decision for their hearts to bear, but one that ultimately we can respect.
Did her dialogue
because it is
change?
designed to keep us safe. And while this is unquestionably a dark night, it may indeed presage the dawn of a new future. My name's Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
I think her dialogue changed.
And we're out.
Okay, so if I remember
Have you got a
correctly, the
feeling we can
original
stay?
line, she starts talking about her brother who might be dead. Like from the nukes. Because there is a, I don't, yeah, no, if I remember correctly, after the nuke, she says something about the lines of like, how she always had trouble with her brother, that they never got along, but now for some reason, all she could think about was his face. That's the only thing that comes to her mind. And he was out of the country when this happened. Oh, yes! Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna pause real quick. Danny! We told our daughter not to leave the country. If we told her to leave the country, she would have been dead. That would have made her talk about her brother. If we sent our daughter out of the country for a vacation, the nuke would have killed her. That is actually the way the story goes if you take that path. Oh, I want to be clear about this. I've finished this game already, so I already knew that was happening. I was letting you guys make that decision. All right. Day 371. Proportionate response. The rest of your shift passes in a blur, with the same words going around and around in your head. Operatives working for Advance to detonate nuclear explosives. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions. Did this really just happen? You pull into the driveway with no memory of the journey home. The light in front of the room is on. Clearly someone else is awake. The door creaks open into the living room. You find Sam sitting on the sofa staring at the TV. The screen is off and they're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat beside them and put a reassuring hand on their shoulder. They don't look at you, but they do reach up and take your hand in theirs. Now you're closer. You can see the tears streaming down Sam's face much more clearly. Chris, I know, I'm so sorry, Sam. What the hell can we do? The bastards killed Chris. Chris is her brother. Millions of others. All because of this fucking war. Which we were never asked for. Behind the tears, you see a fire, raw fury you've never seen in Sam's before. I hate them, Alex. I know you've never been a fan of Advance, but after this, they're monsters. I need to know you understand that. That we can't just be indifferent. We need to actually do something. Nothing can justify what they did. And anyone who tries is just as bad as they are. Relief spreads over Sam's face like a wave. And they collapse against you, clutching tightly. Clearly this was weighing heavily on them. You're not sure you've even processed it fully yet. But at least you'll get through it together. Yes, Asher, we're still streaming. I normally go on till about 12, 2 hours, or whenever the game lets me save. Fuck. So, okay. We had 2 opportunities to send family out of the country. Chris asked us for our passport. If we told him no and we kept our passport, he would have stayed home and he would still be alive, but he would hate us. If we told our daughter yes, she would have left the country and been killed in the blast. Instead, now she's going to med school and then kind of hates us because we disagree with the government. Because as commie governments work, which I agree with Crusader, destroy the commies, they basically brainwashed our kids. Day 380, a final farewell. The last week has passed in a blur. A rush of things to do, but all immediately forgotten. Your memory clouded by dark fog. 9 days since the so-called Liberation Night, and the beginning of Advance's new future. You weren't the first ones at the church today. You were staggered by the number of people who have come to mourn with you. Everyone here for the same reason, sharing the same pain. The same sense of loss. It's all written all over the faces. As much as it would be on yours. You step away from everyone else, needing space to gather your thoughts. 2 siblings had always been close, and now Chris was just gone. You can only imagine what Sam was going through now. They've said little since that evening, clearly still in shock. And some small piece of you can't help but wonder, are you partly to blame? Not that you can change any of that now. All you can do is be there for Sam. And when you walk over and squeeze their hand, they squeeze tightly back. There hadn't even been a coffin to bury. Day 713 in academic exodus. It's a seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in the break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea of the day, you can't help but overhear some excited chatter. You didn't hear? Yeah, another one's gone missing. What's that bring the total up to now? Oh, I should think over 100 at this point. They won't all have been reported or noticed yet. Sorry, what's going on? An excited young woman turns to you and begins to explain. Another professor went missing from the Queensview University. With all the other disappearances over the last year, scientists, doctors, researchers, she pauses before lowering her voice to a whisper. It's clearly disrupt targeting the people speaking out against them. I've even heard Advance are struggling to prevent further. A deep, familiar voice from behind you interrupts. What exactly is going on here? A silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Osmond clears his voice before continuing. I've told you all before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear that they're nothing to worry about, which means they're not our problem. And unless they start classing cappuccinos as intellectuals, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Let's get back to work. Osmond holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else files out of the room. Look, I know you have a habit of doing what you want, but things are different now. Advance runs the show. And they've made their feelings clear, so now I'm doing the same. Channel 1's official position is that the government has things well in hand. Nothing more, nothing less. I trust I won't be hearing talk about this again. He gives you a curt nod before leaving. It seems that for better or for worse, public ownership is now in full swing. So now the government owns our news station. Day 850, a career in the making. You drum your fingers on the steering wheel impatiently as you wait for Charlie again. It's great he's enjoying the Cohesion Cadets and is so enthusiastic, but does he really need to stay behind every week to help? It's your Saturday evening too, after all. Finally, you see him exit the hall, a grin on his face. You can't help but smile back, the frustration starting to fade as you see him so genuinely happy. After hugging his friends goodbye, Charlie heads over to the car and gets in, his face flushed with excitement. So, how was your interrupted? As he can't contain himself any longer. Guess what? Alright, Charlie, calm down, tell me what it is. So, obviously the Cohesion Cadets is a starting point for becoming a CCO. So, we get a head start when applying for that. Charlie gushes, clearly keen on explaining his news, almost tripping over the words in his efforts to tell you. Well, apparently from next year, the top 5% of the cadets will be taken into a special program that becomes CCMs, Community Cohesion Managers. And guess who's gonna be in it? He beams at you. I see, and what exactly do these cohesion managers do? Oh, well, basically, they need a new liaison team between regular people and the CCOs. And the Betterment Department, and that'll be us, people come to us with concerns, and we'll decide whether they need referrals or, and if so, to which department. Cool, right? So you're gonna be helping people report on their friends and neighbors? Well, yeah, I guess, but only bad people. It's about helping the community, making it safer for everyone. Charlie frowns at you. You don't like the CCOs or the Betterment teams? I'm just worried about them having that much power and turning people against each other. It's starting to sound like the people Advance are trying to help. Charlie looks at you, a serious expression on his face. Don't worry, I'll make sure that everyone gets the support they need. This is a good thing for the community, and the team will be able to help everyone. He nods to himself and sits back in the seat. The moon in the car is somewhat icy for the rest of the journey home. You hope it's not the sign of where things are going. Yeah, Danny, exactly. That's what this is. You're right on point. It's that mixed with a little bit of communism, since, you know, they took wealth from everybody. Day 872. Spark to the light of flames. You're surprised to find Sam in bed next to you when you wake up. They must have got in very late last night from drinks with the folks from school. You decide to let them sleep in and enjoy a lazy Sunday morning. With the house quiet, you decide to bring some breakfast into the living room and watch some television while you eat. This is breaking news. Reports are coming in from across the country that large swaths of farmland went up in flames last night as part of what authorities are calling a heinous and well-planned act of terrorism by the group known as Disrupt. You drop your spoon back into the porridge and turn up the volume. In addition to food stores, which government sources have said will put a strain on universal menu centers countrywide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attacks. According to Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education betterment facilities were raided, and a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were forcibly extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. Unfortunately, it appears that the CCOs were ill-prepared for an event like this, and Disrupt seemed to be much more effective and well-organized in comparison. While in most of the targeted locations were thankfully empty of people, given the lateness of the hour, the betterment centers were fully staffed when they came under attack. 17 CCOs and 4 administrative staff lost their lives as a result of the brutal actions of Disrupt last night. With countless more injured, many seriously, and rushed into the hospital. A few Disrupt members were captured during the conflicts, but the vast majority seem to have evaded capture so far. More on this story as it develops. You go to turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, bleary-eyed with a piece of toast. Anything interesting going on? He gestures to the television. Mutely, you leave the news on as they cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in a hushed silence. By the end of the broadcast, they're dubbing it the Night of Fire. Everything's gonna be okay, right? I hope so. We'll have to see. Yes, Danny. Throughout the whole game, Alex and Sam are always referred to as they, them. Essentially to allow you to put yourself in the character's position and allow you to see Sam as whoever you want them to see. So it's actually, it's an interesting way they did the game. It is an interesting way to tell a story. I think it definitely allows the player to be more involved, I guess. A year and a half since Liberation Night.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Alex, this is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex, and we need your help. Throughout this broadcast,
Charlie is our kid.
to do things
I think
that
our
will
son.
directly help with this
I think we have our kids, Charlie and Susie.
I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking you when I can. Please help get our message out. We're on the verge, Alex. You've always been
Absolutely, Del Point. We're going to revolt against the commies.
With your help, we can tip the balance in our favor. If you play our tape at the second break, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
Episode of Just the Job, followed
followed at 10 p.m. by a chance to see the very last episode.
No, fuck that. I don't have a. Wait, what is this?
How's it doing?
The Remington's Fist. Oh, fuck, it's Remington's Fist.
He's a wanted criminal, Colin.
So's my nan, but she never misses her birthday.
Your grandmother's on the run, Colin.
Yeah. Armed robbery, resisting arrest, double homicide of the same bloke.
What kind of grandma is that? Armed robbery and double homicide? Holy shit!
No, he's got this far, and your brother was fine. Going in 10 seconds, everybody. Wonder what they're doing.
Annoying him, probably.
Not probably, definitely. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News, broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf. Our top story.
You notice how
tonight,
she said the territories?
Future legend. It's been
Our
40
enemy surrendered.
days since Disrupt conducted multiple attacks across the territories. During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson.
Jeremy's out on the run.
Nothing's
They
been
busted
heard
him
from
out.
the missing journalist since the violent Disrupt attack on his convoy 6 weeks ago. Donaldson was on his way back.
Jeremy's
to
alive
Texas
and he's with
after
Disrupt
his
right now.
notorious court
They busted him out.
appearance. All of us here at Channel 1 hope that wherever he is now, he's safe. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankley or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man, problems in territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking bosses attempted to undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets, and mandatory grovelling zones. Advance have been quick to respond, saying if they would rather quit their cushy jobs to become nurses or teachers, they'll earn significantly more than they used to pay their own workforce. Thus far, no one has taken up the challenge. Some fun now. Signs of ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines. Asked about the impressive display earlier today, Disrupt spokesperson Alan James said that the movement was reaching what he described as a critical mass. Poor choice of words given recent history. 3 of our favourite stories come to an end this evening. First, water conundrum. When rains flooded the former Moves shaft, now amusement park, many thought the deaths of hundreds of visitors would have finally brought an end to the cursed project. But Sophia Remington remained undaunted, as has been typical of her time at the top. Rebranding as Sophia's Moist Splash Palace, the world's wettest water park has been an overwhelming success.
Ow.
And is this year's most popular
None of those
family
rides can
fun
run.
day.
They're
Shares in
submerged.
Remington's Fist
How can that
have
be
soared,
successful?
Bringing a happy and prosperous end to this story for the daring CEO and her unpredictable moves. Fun guy. Unexpected news today as 2 familiar scientists announced the birth of an extraordinary child. The underground struggle of doctors David Wong and Ingrid Sforsborg and Horgensvoord captured the hearts of people around the world. And after an arduous return voyage, which took over a
Does that mean you
year,
have
the
mushrooms
couple
on its head?
say they've never been happier. Baby Dante is said to be healthy, if a bit partial to the airing cupboard. Penalty box. The notorious decline of Johnny Hamsleeves finally concluded today when Judge Randall Severity
Have a good night, Danny.
sentenced
Talk
him
to you later, bro.
life for a string of
Thank you for
violent
joining.
offences, nearly all committed under the influence of alcohol. The judge described him as a man who had made some entertaining but ultimately
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up this
poor
broadcast, and
choices.
that's where we're gonna end it for the night
Johnny
because I
plans
didn't
to
get a
set
chance
up
to
a
save.
prison five-a-side team as soon as he's had the time to carve a whistle out of soap. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangley Parks for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
People of the territories, today is the day we take back
Oh, this is the
control.
revolution.
Soon it will be time for you to help us again. Come out of your houses, block the traffic, bring the capital to a standstill. I've met so many of you in my travels up and down Territory 1. You always ask the same question. How can I help? Well, this is how. And as for when, you'll know. Keep watching.
But first, 500 days after the loss of a fine leader,
oh, goddammit.
great man, the start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julian
Peter
Salisbury
Clement's dead.
will be breaking ground on what
The old
will
guy
soon
that was
be
an
a
alcoholic.
memorial garden in Peter's honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick.
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick, we're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days.
There.
Now, she's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what? Oh.
Going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs, and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, okay, all right, it seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park. Patrick.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet. You're going to have to do it on the fly. For goodness sake, make sure you make it look good.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
This is Alan. You can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds. Make him look bad, Alex. Really bad.
So we can either choose to make Peter Clement, the former Prime Minister, look bad, or we can make him look good.
Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago, all of our lives changed irrevocably. Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation.
Oh, Del Poy, we're going to make him look very...
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small.
What's the matter?
But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late-night chat show Petey, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago, moments before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he'd stripped off his dry
Does
trousers
she give
and
like? Does her
insisted I
character
took
give you the
them.
impression of the girl that got bullied in school and now is trying to be the bully
That was the
herself?
sort of man that Peter Clement
Did anybody
was.
else get that vibe off her?
Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker, a natural leader, but mostly a good man. This glorious nation of ours, so beautiful and new, this shining beacon of
Thank you, Alex.
equality and
There'll be another
humanity
opportunity to steer public perception soon. It's really starting. You'll know when.
Despite his accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed, to me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference. It is my great honour to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Shall we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Oh! Someone just committed a jihad.
Now, Alex, control the message.
Mom, we have to...
I'm not leaving, I can't!
Oi!
You two, come with me! Don't panic!
You're hurting me!
Well, stop resisting then. Stop resisting and we'll let you up.
I'm not resisting! Ah! Fuck
What are you doing?
I'm not resisting! You all saw! I'm not resisting! State brutality!
Turn the camera off. National Night News. We have the right to be here. I said turn the fucking camera off. Oh, who the fuck are you?
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
Yes.
No, I can't hear you. I'm from the National Nightly News.
Well, then you can consider this payback. Salisbury's still here. Julia Salisbury! You were guilty of the murder of more than 10 million people. Justice demands a response.
Haven't you done enough? Look around you!
Fucking
This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it? Hold on fire! You've got no...
Rise up! Take to the streets, the time has come! Start fires! Break windows! Draw them out! They can't stop us all! Resist! Distract!
Lower your weapons!
Mom?
Lower your weapons! Go out now! No. It was unnecessary.
That might have hurt me, actually. Her saying it was unnecessary.
Shut that off. I said turn it off.
Shocking scene.
Is this not enough? You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians. People like you and me. So why are you watching this? Why are you not in the streets with us tonight? What will it take for you to get up and be a part of this? March on team headquarters, storm the building, demand elections, demand answers. Be what you were born to be, the once and future free.
That means by now. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
That didn't go so well, Alex. But we can turn it around in the next segment.
Stay for the crew, okay?
All fine.
Damn it. Yeah, so apparently we didn't do good enough. I thought we did well enough, but I guess we got a couple too many segments with Salisbury looking good.
It's different tonight. This is the big one.
Great. So there's a revolution happening outside and we're off to dangly fucking parts.
That's journalism, apparently.
Can we get set for the next sequence?
So, everyone's thoughts so far? What are we all thinking? That's definitely a way to put it, Del Boy.
Alex, during this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom who's one of us is going to get a coded location out. We don't know yet which camera he's on, but if we find out, I'll let you know. Just keep your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the air for at least 5 seconds. Our operatives will do the rest.
Megan, this is your new makeup artist, Craig.
No.
What?
No.
10 seconds, everybody. Sorry, Craig. It's a no. Okay, we are going in 5, 4.
Oh, Craig seems pretty upset
3.
about it.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolfe. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the notice board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radin. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice board so much?
It's real. There, I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely.
Right.
Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
It's a combination of so many things. My hard work.
I'm paying attention to camera 4 because I think
Wow.
that's going to be the camera that we have to focus on.
Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard. Our man's on camera 4.
Yep.
I have a real sense of responsibility now. You know,
Get back to the interview, Alex.
Something precious, and that I should use that platform for good.
Yeah, I think it's really important that we should use this platform to do good in the world, really.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many underprivileged people.
Excellent work, Alex. That's the location shared. Next, you'll need to give them the go.
Is that better access to education, or reducing child poverty?
Oh, no, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that
She's
is a lot
adopted
of
30 children?
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northerns, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable, then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottled water, so actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees.
All right, now we
But
gotta
that's enough
get
from
that.
me. Let's go now.
We gotta
over
get this
to
back up there
Dangling
because that's
Parks for the final ever
kind of falling
episode
apart.
of the notice board.
What a day! First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, Perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know! It's a disgrace. Somebody
It's time for the go code. Give us 3 boos in a row, Alex. That will start the pencil movement. We might just pull this off. Push forwards! 3 boos, Alex.
Careful, Vicar. It looks heavy.
Ha! They don't call me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason.
Yes!
Is that guy twerking?
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifit classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to move it.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
Looks
like she's just
all
taking a dump.
those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong and capable
You
woman.
did it, Alex.
Surely
We're good to go.
strong enough to lift this.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town? Hi!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God!
Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry, we won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky
You guys hear the
nature.
gunshots in the background?
But really, it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer.
Absolutely,
We'll
the
catch
place.
this
Oh god, the
dissident
stamps, the poor
and
stamps.
Save the village fate.
Oh,
or
jeez.
my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
Ah, it's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team setting up for a show that would be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running
Absolutely,
a tombola.
Crusader. We're working
Then
on it, bud.
I'll be
We'll
selling
get him.
forgiveness for money.
Ah,
Aren't you judging
speak.
the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
That damn ferret has struck again!
Whatever are we to do?
Oh, the donuts.
Although
Oh
I'm
no.
very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fete.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing. No.
Is that a gun?
Get him out of here, officer!
Oh, it's a flask.
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well.
You notice how the government focuses a lot on putting up young people, putting down old people.
Episode of the notice board, and what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
Wow! What a brilliant run, eh? After party at my place, eh?
Alex, this station is supposed to be unbiased. Your partisan behavior will end up getting us taken into public ownership even sooner. Less revolutionary zeal. Do your job.
Oh, well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry. And to beg for your forgiveness.
One last push, Alex.
My parents are not rich.
We're closing in. One of the guests in the last section is working with us. You'll be asked to censor on our behalf. If you do it right, the final orders will be given. You'll get 3 chances. Get at least 2 of them right, and we're going to win this thing. It's happening, Alex. Tonight we take it back.
So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly. I was glad to see the rich punished. I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators,
Disrupt kidnapped her and beat
we
her
should
up.
have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table. Under Advance, the country is poorer. It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies.
Please, Sarah.
Policies born from
Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
absurd,
Hi,
redistributive
I'm Maddie.
fantasies.
Johnny just said to ask if you need a touch-up.
I have whored myself out to the media to defend
That's
the
my shade, is it?
indefensible.
Yeah. This is
I
my
have
shade.
betrayed my parents. I see that now. Mum, Dad,
You can run back to
I'm sorry. Our only hope,
Sorry about that, Sarah.
the only hope,
At all.
They said no one's
now
died,
lies
that's all I can say.
10
with
seconds.
Disrupt.
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears. Going in 5, 4, 3.
It's gotten
Welcome
worse out
back
there.
to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking.
The
with
segment's
cast
going on
in
a lot
moment,
longer
but
than I thought it
first,
would.
Let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share common
the hell was that?
Charitable deed, but the flowers of a happy
See you, Larry Del Boy. Have a good night, bro. Good to see you again, man.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wong, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
How can this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of safety.
Actually, that makes you less safe.
Flat, we built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked. We're having a baby. Now you can't have any wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3. No more.
Alright, Crusader, you have a good night, bro. Good to see you again. See you on the next one, bro. Thanks for joining.
No more snap decisions to go on to a club.
You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums?
The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's grown. We're our top priority. I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one bawls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife.
We got a childless life.
We're
Having a baby.
We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a
baby.
No more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent prays to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
No more spas and no more. We're having a baby. 18 years on bills and leaves. Time for a whole new phase.
We're having a baby.
One more thing before the show begins. Have you considered that you might be having twins?
Amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their opening number from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the Capital Theatre District, and will be touring the territories later this year.
Right then, come on, you got.
Come on down, let's go. Don't be shy. Hello. Hi, Megan. Hi. It's an
Can I
honour.
save mid? No, I can't. Actually, no, yeah.
Oh, really? Are you fans of the show?
Yeah, it used to be.
Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night,
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boreham-Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Satley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys!
It just dawned on him.
All begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples, you know, in real life as well as in the show.
Well, not exactly.
No. I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack, Jen Janet, Jill Jen, Janet Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Mimble.
I'm trying to remember which one of them is with Disrupt. One of these guys is with them.
It caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing.
This piece isn't peaceful.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
It's about children and why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem.
Crap, this hurt me.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
This isn't about me.
Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance on their lives, and there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one.
You're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Janet. Got you back.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
go ahead.
It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair, becoming a target for children.
Oh, it's her.
TV
She's with.
advertising at the age of
I'm just.
22.
I'm dumb.
She decides to take
She's the one that's with
drastic action.
Disrupt.
I can't really say more though. I probably said too much already.
Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place, so...
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toes into the...
Fascinating. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The Nova is there. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, are you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave, not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right. So, is the situation now, are we safe?
Yes, the security services performed their duties without hesitation, and I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right. No civilian deaths. Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive.
Holy shit, something actually blew up back there.
If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera, there's the speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment, but, as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
That's not
for those
ominous at all.
Strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Night News. But before we go, tonight's National Night
Holy crap.
Victory is in sight, my friends. You have mobilized. You have come together. From our agents at the television networks risking arrest and getting those words to you, to the many hundreds and thousands gathering to invade team headquarters. As I speak, we are turning the tide, and it is time for change. Tonight we topple their regime, and we also silence their mouthpiece. Channel 1. Time to wake up.
out from the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned and well equipped out there, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over and we can once again focus our minds on building the new future with equality, fairness and resources for all. My name is Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
Damn it, Alex. Tonight is the beginning of the fall of advance. Fighter jet, 11 o'clock. Charges brig, sir. Permission to detonate. Permission granted, old friend. We are going to detonate. Look out your window, Alex. See what you helped make happen.
Yep, there goes our tower. Military might be pissed. Maybe a little bit. Just a tad bit. So the revolution failed. Slight dock to my pay, of course. Alright, but ladies and gentlemen, this turned very dark very quickly, but that's how dictatorships go. We lost our brother-in-law. Advance nuked 4 cities in the world and has ultimately taken over the continent, as far as we're aware. At least now, 14 countries are under advance. And Disrupt attempted a revolution that was nearly successful, but due to military intervention, the revolution has failed. We're going to see what this happens. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to see what this causes going on in the future, so we will see. I think Thursday we're going to stream more of this. Might end it there. And then Friday we're going to do Resident Evil. Hopefully, release it then. So I will see you around the next one. Thank you everyone so much. If you've enjoyed this, if you enjoy my channel, if you enjoy my nonsense, if you enjoy my nonsensical ramblings and my commentary, please feel free to leave some kind of activity on this video, on this stream, and just generally any video that does come out, because it helps out, as it helps push our videos out to the rest of YouTube, and helps our channel grow. And I really do appreciate the help as we are ever trying to build our community. If you'd like to come join our community, link in the description below for our Discord. Now, if you're concerned about Discord possibly monitoring people, as rumors have been going around, we also have a guild, so links there in the description below. I also have alternatives to YouTube, that'd be Rumble and Odyssey. I'll see you around the next one. Thank you everyone so much. Love you all. You guys are all awesome.